CMH, your number one historic sim racing league, presents Auto Racing 22.
Good evening everybody and welcome to the 2022 CMH International Masters Trophy as well as round 1 of the Triple Crown. Today we're going to be racing at the Twin Wing Motegi in Japan. We've got a track length of roughly 1.5 miles with a very low banking of about 10 degrees. Some interesting rules running tonight with this round contributing towards 2 championships. So that's the International Masters Trophy as well as the Triple Crown of Oval Racing. Qualifying will be starting shortly, where we should see around 20 to 21 drivers take to the grid. This varies in multiple chassis from Hondas and Delaras as well as Toyotas and Chevrolets. So just a quick rundown of the entry list. We've got quite a variety here, coming from all over the world. Team Menard is represented in the number 2 car by German, the number 3 car by Pascal Mikola in the Delara with a Toyota engine, as well as many other drivers. I'm sure we'll be seeing qualifying begin shortly, around the 5:30 mark for UK time. With this round contributing towards 2 different championships, the Masters Trophy and the Triple Crowns, we have 2 different point systems for tonight. So the Masters Trophy uses the typical FIA Formula 1 World Championship points from the 2010 season to present. That means that 25 points are awarded to 1st, 18 to 2nd, 15 to 3rd, 12 to 4th, 10th to 5th, and then going down in 2s till 10th position, which receives 1 point. The Triple Crown points are very much a different story. The leading position at the finish of the race will receive 175 points, and that will go down in 5s to 6th place to 150, and then it will go down in positions of 4 all the way down to 14th, I believe, 13th, 14th, which is around the 125 point mark. So even if you finish 20th place, you'll still receive over 100 points. Also in this championship, you will have a lead lap point. No matter how many laps you'll lead, you will only receive this once, and that will be 5 points. And then if you lead the most amount of laps, you'll receive another bonus of 5 points. So the standings at the current time are... Let me quickly have a look. For the Masters Trophy, Joe Gillett leads from Great Britain on 33 points. Bayer is in 2nd. He's on 30. Pascal Mikola in 3rd, he's on 27th, joint with Zadel from Slovenia, he's on 27 points too. Lorenzo Turi is in 5th on 25 points, with Marazzi on 18, Matt Sibanoyi on 15, tied with Dorga, he's on 15 as well, and Velocity in 10th on 12 points. Further down the grid, we have Stur from Germany, he's on 10 points too, as well as Owen Potter. And then in 14th and 15th, bringing up the rear of the grid, is Bernardino on 4 points, and Posky Party on 6. currently we're waiting on the qualifying to begin. This should start very shortly, where we will see all present cars go out on track for 2 timed flying laps. They'll be out on track singularly to get a balance with no slipstream, of course, because obviously if you've got slipstream, then you're going to get an unfair advantage over other cars who cannot get the slipstream. So completely fair grounds in qualifying, where all cars will be on track by themselves when they're doing their laps, and that will allow for a fair qualifying. We should be getting underway shortly, as I've just stated, where currently we have 15 cars on track. The grid will be formed, the qualifying order will be formed by car number, so the lowest car numbers will be going out first, with the higher numbers going out last. Race strategy for this track, we'll be looking at I believe it's 200 laps, and it will be a rolling start with the pit window approximately being between 45 to 55 laps, depending on tyre wear and cautions, of course. So, as we see the first car go out on track, it's the number 2 car. This is the Team Menard Dallara with the Chevrolet engine, driven by German Korev. Obviously, he's going to have to take big care going around this turn 3 and 4, a tighter radius than the ones of turn 1 and 2. Carrying a lot of speed as we go onto the onboard, heading down into turn 1. You can see he's right at the top of 5th gear, just clipping into 6th before the corner. Very tidy line. And we should see him shift down a few gears here for the last corner, down into 4th gear. A little bit wide, but maybe he's just building the speed up for his second flying lap, just to try carry a little bit more momentum. See, he's running a slightly tighter line compared to his first lap, so he's really going for it this time round. So we see the speedo nearly at 320 kilometers an hour around that first corner. Going to be braking hard, rolling it into the corner, down 2 gears. As we see, we've got a nearly 40 kilometer an hour difference between turns 1 and 2 and turns 3 and 4. And he's going to come across the line to set a 27.7. Obviously, that will be provisional pole. He is the only driver to go out on track, obviously. As he comes around again to drop the car down into the pit lane. And we can wait for the next driver to go out, which should be the number 3 car of Pascal Mikola. He's in the Marlboro Team Penske, same chassis, a Dallara, but this one's powered by the Toyota engine. According to the organisers of this event, there is very little in terms of chassis and engine difference, so bear that in mind, but it's still a very good talking point. Good looking car this, it's very much reminding of the early to mid 90s McLarens. The Team Penske sponsored by Marlboro at this point. I believe McLaren would have gone on to West by the time 2003. So he's taken a slightly wider line to build his momentum up for his second flying lap. Good exit out of the last corner, and his first lap's going to be whatever it is going to be about 3 tenths down. I think it's 3 tenths up at the moment, so German Korev not having the greatest qualifying session for the number 2 car. because on his first lap, Pascal Mikola has already gone quicker, and you can see he's carrying more speed, a little bit wide. You can see the sparks flying off the car, so he's obviously running it low to the ground. And his second lap's going to be over half a second quicker than Korov's in the same chassis, but with the Chevrolet engine instead of the Toyota. So currently on pole is Pascal Mikola in the Penske Dallara Toyota. So he's going to venture down to his in-lap now. Nice and clean, getting down below the apron soon as he heads into the pits. Next car out on track should be Tanor. He's also in a Dallara, powered by the same engine as Korev. He's in the Epson AJ. Oh no, this is a G-Force chassis. You'll have to excuse me there. This is Vont 4 in the Toyota-powered G-Force GF09, the AJ Foy Enterprises car, sponsored by Epson. So they sponsored some early F3000 cars in the early 90s. So as he heads on to his first flying lap, heading into the wide, low banking turns 1 and 2. A little bit of a slip mid-corner, but on the majority, not terrible. See what he can put out in his first lap. Still very good, around 260 Ks. That was about the same place as Korev in the first lap of his. But he goes 4 tenths down on Pascal Mikola, so it's currently good enough for second place. But that second lap he's going to carry a little bit more momentum off the last corner. So in theory he should be a little bit quicker. Let's see what happens. Down the gears into the final corner. Down a fourth, 260, 250 Ks. Still holding the pace. And crossing the line. He doesn't improve, so that lap wasn't quite as good as his first one, but still good enough for second at the moment. But we still have many drivers to go. 15 drivers on the server tonight. Good looking car, that Epson car. Number 5. Gets down on the apron soon, almost washes it back up on the track, but manages to hold it down as he speeds into the pit lane. Next car should be the second of the Team Penske cars. It is indeed. This chassis instead of a Dallara with Pascal Mikola, it's a G-Force GF09, so the same as Van 4 in the AJ Enterprises car who just ran before him. But same engine as Pascal Mikola's car in the Toyota. Very wide off of the turn 4, trying to carry as much momentum as possible as he comes onto his first flying lap. Yeah, amount of speed he can carry. Look at the sparks flying off from underneath the car. Quite a good exit, using a lot more of the track than the other drivers. Whether that's quicker or not is yet to be decided. He seemed to run a lot wider off of turn 2, carrying a lot of speed around turns 3 and 4. Looking like a good outlap there as he goes 3 tenths down on Pascal Mikola. For a good first lap, I should say. So currently it's Team Penske 1 and 2. The Italian driver really pushing the car hard here. This car doesn't seem to be quite as balanced as other drivers, but either way it's still definitely quick. Round in the last corner, some great camera shots here, really get the sense of speed. As he improves, he goes just 1.9 or 0.196 off of his teammate. Oh, hooks it up on the apron there, almost loses it on the in-lap. Not quite sure why he's down on the apron so soon, but at least he didn't put it in the wall, so that would have been a difficult repair job in time for the race. Next car out on track will be the Andretti Green Racing car, which is once again a Dallara IR03, this time powered by a Honda engine. So this is the first Honda-powered car heading out onto the track. This car's piloted by Filippo Mazzari, the number 7 Dallara. Nice tight line around turns 3 and 4. See how that slingshots him onto the home straight. First flying lap then, here we go. Again, these cars are very fast. Sparks flying off from underneath shows how low they're running these cars in the setup. Oh, big moment out of turn 2. Very, very good save. Wow. This is going to be a lap to abandon, but he's got to keep his foot in it because he's got one more flying lap to do. It'll be interesting to see where that puts him. He's 1.3 seconds down. Obviously, his momentum is going to be ruined due to that massive slide coming out of turn 2. He's got to keep his foot in. Running it almost all the way out to the wall. He's really pushing to make time up. Almost 350 Ks before he drops down the gearbox. Turns 3 and 4, runs it a little bit wide on exit, has another twitch. That car's really not happy. I believe he brushed the wall there on exit, and that's going to put him down in 5th, 7 tenths off of Pascal Mikola on pole at the moment. If he didn't have that slide coming out of turn 2, I really wonder where that could have put him, as that really offset him for the rest of his run. But bit of a shame there, but it's all matters in the race, obviously. It doesn't, well, you know, the winner's decided at the end of the race, not in quali. Oh, what a shame. Next car out on track will be Simon Witt in the Kelly Racing Dallara. This one powered by a Toyota engine, the number 8 car. Driven in real life by Scott Sharp. Nice tight line coming around turns 3 and 4. That's real. He's lost it coming out of turn 4, and that's really going to upset him. He's got to get the car rolling again. Oh, it's going to be very tricky to build the momentum back up, because really he's only going to have one go here, because his first lap's a complete write-off. Now he's lost it. Then rear tyres are going to be a little bit overheated as well. Maybe he's flat spotted him, locking up the wheels as well. One way to find out, see how that car handles, but he's only really going to have one lap here to try and get anywhere in qualifying with this car. Powering out the last corner, he's going to keep it together this time round. That first lap's not going to be good. He's 4 seconds off of pole at the moment, and he's probably going to struggle not carrying those few extra kilometres an hour that he could from a clean lap 1 heading on to that lap 2. So he's lost a little bit of time. A little bit of a slide coming out of turn 2 as well. So we drop down the gearbox into the last corner. You can see he's pushing hard, maybe a little too hard. He's ran very deep into that last corner, but he's brought it back in tight to try and carry some extra speed. But I don't think it will be enough. It's 1.4 seconds down on pole position and currently last place. A little bit of a sloppy lap there from him, but it was a good recovery. He could have been a lot further down than that. I think he just pushed a little bit too hard heading into the last 2 corners, and he's currently stopped the car on track instead of doing an in-lap. But anyway, on to the next one is going to be Juan Guerrero. He's in the Target Chip Ganassi Racing G-Force. This one's powered by a Toyota engine, so the same setup that we saw Bivona take second place in. So we'll see what he can do. Target sponsored car. Car looked a little bit loose on entry. A very, very clean exit from turn 4. First flying lap. 330 Ks into the first corner. He's dropped it down to just below 320, so that's on par with what we saw from Pascal Mikola on his first lap. Very, very tight entry, and he's hugging that inside line. Very, very clean line through turns 3 and 4, and he runs it out to the wall. Good opening lap. Let's put him on pole position, and he's got one more to go. Very, very tidy driving here from Juan Guerrero. Very clean lines between around turn 1 and 2. What kind of speeds are going to be going around the last corner? We saw about 260 from other drivers. Juan Guerrero is holding 275, carrying so much more speed, but he has a moment at the last corner, clatters into the wall, but he still goes quicker. How much quicker he would have been without clattering that wall, but he's only 1/10 up the road from Pascal Mikola. Wow. Very hairy at the last corner, but very, very clean driving. Let's put him on pole position temporarily. We've still got some big names to go through. Let's see what happens in the remainder of qualifying here. Next car out on track is going to be Martin Bayer in the Andretti Green Racing car. The second of the two, the previous being Filippo Marazzi. Almost got it right this time. So he's going to be in a Dallara, Honda powered. So the same setup as his teammate. Coming on to his first flying lap. Let's see what he can do. Around the first corner, still holding around the 320k mark. Not as quick as Juan Guerrero, but still good enough for what he needs to achieve. Should still be a good opening lap. Right out to the outside wall. Good turn in, but a little bit of mid-corner wash taking him away from that inside white line. But not a terrible opening lap here. And that puts him approximately half a second down. P4 on his first lap, and he's going to be carrying those few extra Ks onto the second one. See what he can achieve. How wide is he going to run it? Not all the way to the wall like we saw from other drivers. He's going to move over to try and widen his entry up for turns 3 and 4. Hugs it in well, but drifts a little bit away from the white line, but holds it together for the corner. That's probably going to be a good little lap there from Bayer, who's found another 10th and got 4 tenths off pole. Very nice little clean lap there. Worked well, just a little bit of a twitch coming out of turn 4 that might have lost him a little bit of time, but consistent enough that will put him somewhere at the top of the mid-pack, I reckon. So currently, between the majority of the drivers who completed a decent outlap who didn't have a major spin, all of them are currently within a second. It was only Simon Witt who struggled because he spun it on turn 4, so lost all of his speed going on to his 2 flying laps, and that's why he's a second and a half down. But very, very clean lap there. Which driver is going to be next out on track is currently eluding me. But it's going to be... bloody hell. Sorry for swearing on your stream. It's going to be Ghilardini. He's driving the second of the AJ Foyt cars in G-Force. It's Toyota powered, judging by the sponsor of it. I haven't actually looked at the engine. It is indeed Toyota powered. As he rounds the final corner. Ooh, big twitch, and he's hit the inside wall. And that's his rear wing gone as he locks up all 4 wheels. And that's his front wing gone too, as he teleports back to pits there. So I reckon that will be the end of his qualifying session. Big mistake there, which has cost him on qualifying. Looked like a fairly clean outlap till there. Maybe he just got on the power that little bit too soon and the rear end just came round. Seems like some drivers are struggling on corner exit. They can get the car turned in well, but it's just picking up the throttle maybe a little bit too soon. Maybe there's a slight but little bit of elevation change on the corner exit, which throws the rear end out. But, yeah, not ideal there for Simone. So we see the next car go out on track. That is Christian Dorga in the PDM Racing Dallara. This one's Chevrolet powered. That's the first Chevrolet powered car come out on track, as Tanor is not currently here. Let's see what he can achieve, see what the Chevrolet Power can do around Motegi. So we head on board, coming down into turns 3 and 4, very tight line. He drops the inside wheel down onto the apron a little bit there, that's not going to help him with his mid-corner speed. Around turn 1, oh, he once again drops the wheel down, a little bit too much turning. But hugging the inside line well, maybe a little bit too well, but keeping it clean. And at the moment, after the last few drivers, getting a lap seems to be a little bit of an achievement. So, oh, he had to turn out of the steering there, just once again a little bit too soon on the turn-in. But overall, not a terrible lap, should put him in contention. You see, he's currently 1.3 seconds down, but that was only his first lap. If he hooks up this second lap well, we see the sparks flying off of the front wing. A little bit down on turn 1 speed, he was only about 300 k's instead of the 320 we saw from Juan Guerrero. He's very, very soon on the turn-in, hooks it up on the apron, and that allows all 4 wheels to slide out wide. It's been quite a sloppy lap, but he kept it on track unlike some of the other drivers, and that's going to allow him to get him within the second mark and put him currently in P8 here at Motegi. Not the greatest lap there from Dorga, but as I've just said, putting the lap together is good enough here, as we've had one driver crash out on his outlap, and that's prevented him from qualifying, and one driver spin on their outlap, which has completely ruined the momentum for the 2 flying laps, as we see Dorga come into the pits here. Next car is going to be Poskipata. He's driving the Kelly Racing Dallara. This one's powered by a Honda engine. Nice livery this one, the black, the red and the white. Sponsored by Corteco. Believe a little bit of Halvoline as well. On the sides, if I'm not mistaken. I am mistaken, it's Western Union. Same colours though. The black, yellow and red. Good looking car this one. So we head down into turn 1. Seems to be holding a good line. How wide's he going to go out of turn 2? Not all the way to the wall. What we seem to be seeing from most of the drivers. Maybe it's not that time efficient to run it all the way out to the wall. Is he going to be able to tuck it in at the end of the corner? No, he's not. He's going to hold that low mid-line and run the car out. Where's that going to put him? Not a bad time. Half a second down. P5 on his first lap. Seems to be a very clean line. Would be interesting to see what speed he's doing around there. But it looks quick. I reckon it'll be a good time if he can hold it together. A little bit of a twitch coming out the corner. Maybe a little bit too much over rotation. Might have scrubbed some speed off in the tyres. Hugs the car down well into turn 3. But that means he's drifted it out wide coming out of turn 4. Looked like a very little clean lap there. And that's going to put him in 4th place. 3.5 tenths off of pole. Nice lap, Poskipata. Not bad at all. Next up's going to be Matt Sibonoi. He's in the Red Bull Chiva racing car. Once again, one of the few Chevrolet powered cars here. It's going to be in a Dallara chassis, the number 52. We'll see him exit the pit shortly as Poskipata goes into the pit lane, and the Red Bull car of Matt Sibonoi comes out. Taking it slow and steady. Don't need to go flat out on the in-bank. He slowly builds the speed up for his flying laps. Full power now on the back straight. Great sound from that Chevrolet engine. Around turn 4 he goes. Slingshots it out the corner. Looked like a good line, running it out to the wall. Let's see what he can achieve. Oh, he ran it slightly too wide there on entry, clattering the wall. Maybe that's affected his toe slightly, his tie rods. We'll have to find out. It didn't look like a particularly great turn 1 there. His car doesn't seem to be quite tracking in a straight line. So he's going to have to try and piece the car together. A lot of rotation there on turn-in under brakes. So he holds it tight though for turns 3 and 4. A little bit of a twitch, maybe scrub some speed off. Not quite ideal. He's down a second at the moment Let's see. Oh, you can see maybe that's a bit of suspension damage that's throwing his car into the corner on turn-in, but he's very much out wide here. He almost loses the rear as well. That car's not happy whatsoever. Seems just like he ran a little bit too wide into the first corner. Just trying to find a little bit of time, but there's a lot of understeer. You can see there, having to really overturn the car to make it steer. I don't think that's going to be an improvement. No, it's not. Really not a great lap there from Matsubanoi. Just slightly too wide on the turn 1 entry, clattering the wall, and I think that knocked his alignment out a little bit. What a shame for the Red Bull Chiva racing car. Because I believe that's the only Red Bull Chiva racing car turning up today. In real life, it was driven by Buddy Rice. Whether it has success or not, I cannot tell you. But next car out on track is Laura Levitt in the Back Motorsports Dallara. Once again, powered by another Honda engine. Round turn 4. Blasting down onto the home straight. Ooh, not quite sure what happened there. Maybe a little graze of the wall, just trying to get it quite wide to get a good entry around turn 1. Not terrible around turn 2. Seems to be about in the same track position as all the quick drivers, so we'll have to see what she can put together. Nice, tidy, consistent line round 3 and 4. Maybe hugging it a little bit too tight on corner exit. But that's going to put her P8, 8 tenths down at the moment. But she's got lap 2 coming up now as has a little bit extra speed. Nice clean line round turn 2. Car seems to be very well planted. What can she do into turn 3? Hugging it nice and tight. Looked like a very good little line that. Runs it all the way out to the wall. And that's going to be a slight improvement. 4 tenths down, P6. Not a bad lap at all. Next car out on track will be Dom Wings in the Fernandez Racing Dallara. Same as Laura's car, powered by a Honda engine. Dom, the only driver representing the Czech Republic. See the red, white and blue, typical American colours. Or British, or French. Or any other country that's got red, white and blue in the flag. Number 55 car powers round the infield. Or the apron. Turns 1 and 2. Seems to be quite eager to get onto their flying lap. Nice little exit, quite far over to the left hand side. Needs to be further over to the right if you want to make the most out of the track. But as long as he holds it together, should be good enough. Powering down the back straight. A little bit all over the place. Don't know if there was contact that I missed with the wall. Very, very hard on the initial steering there. He's slightly having to overturn the car a little bit to make it go around the corner. You need to get further over to the right hand side of the track. Not a bad lap though, 7 tenths down. Oh, a lot of rotation on turn-in. Drops the car down onto the apron. That's put him very, very wide. Something tells me that he's not going to improve on this lap after that, but we'll have to wait and see. Down the back straight we go. Into turns 3 and 4. So much aggression on the turn-in. The car just cannot respond quick enough to it, with the front washing back out as soon as he's completed the turn. No improvement on that second lap. I didn't think there would be. So I have one more car go out on track. That's going to be Matthew Aboyski. He's in the Helen Graham Racing Dallara, and the third Chevrolet power car. As we see Dom do his in-lap, drop the car down on the apron at the last corner, and spin it heading into pit lane. That's something that we definitely don't want to see happen during the race. Matthew in the 91 Dallara should be the last car out on track unless we have any late entries. This is a Chevrolet power chassis. Taking it nice and easy. Maybe a little bit too easy. He's parked it on the inside of turn 1. Not quite sure what happened there. Maybe they didn't quite fuel the car up right, or didn't put the right setup in it. But definitely not ideal. Whether they'll be able to go back out on track after that, I'm not 100% sure. But it seems like it is the case. Maybe it's because they didn't start a flying lap. They get another chance. That would make sense. I'm not 100% sure on the technicals. But once again, it seems to be going slowly. Slowed down on the pit exit line. And pulls over again. So maybe some technical issues here for the Helen Graham racing car. As we seem to just be sat in the pit lane. So let's talk a little bit about the track, I suppose. Motegi was built in 1997 with the twin ring part mainly, I believe it was built by Honda, and the twin ring part, the twin ring stating that there were 2 tracks. So you've got the main circuit where the likes of MotoGP, World Touring Cars, and I'm sure many GT championships raced over the years as well. But you've also got this oval, which was mainly to try and bring the kart and the Indy Car series over from America. So the whole point was to try and introduce American motorsport in Japan, because they did NASCAR at Suzuka a few years prior, as well as I'm sure many other adventures. But it kind of worked the other way around. I think more Americans got appealed into Japanese motorsport, like the Super GT, JGTC, everything that was going like that at the time. It got to the point where I believe America even had their own like Super Touring Championship, where they were inspired by Europe and Asia and other countries like that so much. But either way, we got the twin ring Motegi out of that. And today we're going to be doing 200 laps, approximately 300 miles. The race, each lap on race pace should be around the 27 second mark. So it's not going to be, although it says 200 laps, sounds like a lot, it's not going to be the longest if 1 lap or 2 laps take a minute. So it's going to be about 100 minutes, so just over an hour and a half, I presume. It's a very low banking here, at about 10 degrees. Obviously the front stretch has only got a 1.7 degree banking, whereas the back stretch has got 5. So that will have to play in the mind of drivers, where you're going to have to be putting that tiny bit of correctional steering on to make sure that you don't run down the banking. For this particular race, we should be seeing drivers pit around the 45 to 55 lap mark. Whether that be, I believe it will mainly be for tyres, as fuel should last a lot longer than that. The cars have got 30-gallon tanks, which I believe is about 130 litres. So the fuel's going to last a lot longer than the tyres. But that pit strategy could be all over the place depending on cautions, yellow flags, all that sort of stuff. But as we're waiting for the race to start, it might be a good time to head over to an ad break.
Should have gotten fajitas.
Ooh, fajitas.
Taco Bell's Fajita Grilled Stuffed Burrito. It'll make you regret getting anything else.
Oh, you should have gotten fajitas.
Sizzling marinated carne asada steak and tasty fajita veggies, all wrapped in a flour tortilla and grilled to go.
I should have gotten fajitas.
Taco Bell's Fajita Grilled Stuffed Burrito. Nothing beats the sizzle when you think outside the bun. Can you hear me now? Good. Can you hear me now?
How do you build America's largest wireless network?
Can you hear me now? Good.
By never being satisfied.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Until no matter where you go,
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
your call goes through.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
Look into my eyes.
It's Game Boy Camera. It fits into any Game Boy. Just pick a friend, pick a nose, pick a friend's nose, eyes, ears, whatever. You can animate it, then with a printer you can print it out and stick it wherever you want. We call it photography. Game Boy Camera. Make fun of everyone.
So, welcome back everybody to the 2022 Masters Trophy. Round 3, the Indy Japan 300 at the Twin Ring Motegi. Currently, your pole sitter is covered by a blue line, but second place is Pascal Mikola. It's Juan Guerrero on pole by a 10th. Did a very, very clean lap there, holding a lot more mid-corner speed than any other driver, just hooking the car up. Absolutely spot on, really. I don't think there was much room for improvement there whatsoever. But Pascal Mikola in second is hot on his tails, less than a 10th behind. Obviously, the grid is very close here with it being such a short lap, so the top 11 are within a second of each other, with Matt Sibanoy, with unfortunately that little graze of the wall on the start of his lap 1 really offsetting the alignment of his car. He's just with outside the 1 second mark, but if he could pull that off with the misalignment of his steering wheel, then it will be great to see him fight through the grid if he has got that little bit of extra pace. Simon Witt spun on his outlap, which ruined the flow for his next 2. He really just couldn't build the speed back up that the other drivers had from having a clean outlap, and that's put him 1.5 seconds down. Ghilardini, he crashed on his outlap, just hooking it up, or not hooking it up I should say, out of turn 4, and spinning it into the inside wall, and then consequently hitting the outside wall shortly after. And Aboyski, he just barely made it out of the pit lane, I'm afraid. No particular reason given to me as of yet why, but maybe a car issue, a setup issue, or maybe some kind of control issue. Not 100% sure at the moment. But we should see the 200 lap race begin shortly. I'm sure there's just a driver briefing going on at the moment as to why. Or as to how, I should say, the race is going to begin, but we should be looking at a rolling start behind a safety car. Yeah. It's looking to be an exciting race, because we've got the top 11 within a second of each other, and when you've got slipstream, then positions are going to be changing all the time. But if we have got 11 cars that are so close on time, then bear in mind that a caution flag could be out quite a few times. We've seen drivers be a little bit sloppy in qualifying, whether that be through just the pressure of having 2 laps to try and go as quick as you can, but it could just be something as simple as a back marker causing a caution, which could really bunch the pack up in regards to what's the word? It's been a while since I've done commentary. In regards to the pit stops and the strategy that is going to be changed up by that. So, I presume this is some kind of warm-up. Yeah, so the we're going to be guested by Pascal Mikola, who's currently directing the event, and he's going to bring the briefing into the stream. So he's going to talk about that here shortly.
Yeah, hello, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jake, for doing the commentary so far. I'm very happy to hear it.
Anyway, yes, the race today, as you've mentioned already, and as we know, it's 200 laps. We have a flying start behind the pace car, so the drivers are advised by the race direction to, treat their cars accordingly. It's not a sprint, so it's 200 laps, not 20. Then also there has been the advice that drivers swerve that they swerve to the left when entering the pits. So that means on the back straight, just swerve left to show your intention to pit to the cars behind you, and then use the apron in turn 3 and 4 to get into the pits. The pit speed limit will be 55, no, not 55, but 65 miles per hour, 100 kilometers an hour, and the pace car speed will be about the same. When a yellow comes out, and we will be racing with full course yellow, the field is frozen immediately. So, it's 2003. We don't do racing back to the line. They did that in NASCAR until 2004, I think, but not in IndyCar. So the field is frozen immediately at the moment of caution. Some drivers asked, "Oh, look at what's going on track there." Oh, and that's a hit in the wall, I think. Anyway, some drivers asked how to approach the yellow flag, basically. And what I said is, the field is frozen. Get to the start-finish line at near race speed, and then gradually slow down. We don't want anyone, crossing the start-finish line and then just dropping the anchor. God no. Other than that, the pit stop window, as you mentioned, is somewhere around 40 to 45 or maybe even 50 laps, depending on how drivers treat their tires. Of course, pit stops are, you can pit during the caution as soon as the pit opens. And other than that, we can go through some questions. Of course, we can go through some questions.
While you were saying that, we've had Wings head into the wall coming out of turn 4.
Oh yeah, I
Seems
saw
to
that.
have knocked his front wing off.
Oh, that should be.
There's
Oh,
some
there.
debris
I
as
think.
well
I
coming
think.
out
I
of turn
think.
2.
I think Mark Vonto just ran over that front wing. I saw it flying across the screen.
It must have been Dorga, as he's heading into the pits rather slowly with no front wing. We now get the cameras on Laura Levitt. As she heads down into the pit lane, very, very late on the exit, as Juan Guerrero takes it very tight around the outside of Bayer, as they both head down into the apron to once again head back into the pit lane. Oh, we've got Dom Wings. That seems to be turn 1. A lot of debris on track.
Yeah, alright, sorry about that. I need to... there's a little setting in the server that I forgot, so I need to restart the server. That one's on me, but don't worry, there's qualifying order will be restored. People are leaving the server, I don't get it. I'm just restarting the server, that's... I don't know why people are leaving the server. It's just a quick flying restart, as you can see. The server's just closing the track. Anyway. Yeah. I completely forgot where I was in regards to what I was saying. Whoop. We have some difficulty, some technical difficulty. No worries, we'll be back shortly. It looks like our director had his game crash. Now, Drivers are slowly rejoining. As soon as everyone is back on the server, I'll quickly redo the whole, grid order thing so that we actually have a proper starting grid this time. The important thing about this race is basically, as Jake also said, the points regarding the Triple Crown. That's the big talking point. I don't think we've talked about the Triple Crown enough yet, but if you know the Triple Crown from like the olden days, the 70s and 80s, it used to be 3 500-mile races, and if you won all 3 of them, you were basically the king of it. Our Triple Crown is a bit different because we have a 300-mile race and then 2 500-mile races this year. This is the 300-mile race, so we're getting that one out of the way real fast. As Jake already mentioned, the winner will get 175 points. Actually, the winner will get 180 points if you think about it, because to win, you need to lead at least lap 200, so you'll get this 175 points for the win, and then the 5 points for leading 1 lap. So that's that. Is there anything I missed? I don't think so. So with that being said, we're about to go back. We're currently still in warm-up after I restarted the server. Matthew Sibanioni in the wall there. I think we're missing 1 or 2 cars still. And then we can go racing. How about that?
So it's definitely being looked forward to. As we're currently watching Bayer go around the track. Didn't have the greatest... He might have had quite a good qualifying if I remember correctly, actually. I believe he was mid-pack. Maybe quite a little bit of a sloppy outlap, but he managed to bring it all back together. He's currently 3rd fastest in warm-up, as we see quite a few tyre marks there from someone who's obviously had not much fun. I've seen maybe a blown engine there as well, heading down into turn 3. Looked like lot of blue smoke coming out of a white and red car.
Yeah, that was Agatino Bivona in the Penske. Yeah. I mean, it must have been him because I'm still in the pits, just sorting out the race. So we're missing at this moment nobody actually. Matthew Boyski has just joined the server.
Yes, we have 15 cars on server.
Well, actually 16.
Cars on server, yeah.
Yeah, that's because Okay, time to set the qualifying order. So we just got confirmation from Joe Gilla that he won't be showing up. Unfortunate, but well, I guess that's just what happens. So I've got qualifying results here. That's good. So first one on the grid will be Juan Guerrero. Second place on the grid will be yours truly. Then we have hold on. There you go. And third place on the grid will be Agatino Bivona. Then we have Petteri Poskiparta. Fifth place Martin Bayer. Sixth place Laura Levitt. Seventh place Mark Dennis Wantor. Eighth place will be German Korev. Then we have Dom Wings. Filippo Marazzi will round up the top 10. Christian Dauger will be 11th. 12th will be Matthew Cipagnoni. 13th place will be Simon Witt. 14th place will be Simone Gilardini. And rounding out the field, Matthew Oboyski. Okay, with that being said, yeah, Gilardini and Oboyski didn't do a time, so they're at the back of the grid. And yeah, all right. Back to Jake for the race. I'll be in my car, so take it away. Maybe we'll talk during the caution.
So we're currently watching Juan Guerrero go round. He's our pole sitter. He's currently 2 tenths faster than Von 4, who qualified a little bit further down the grid, but he's heading into the pits. Seems like his warm-up's gone well. Seems to have around matched the time as well that he's set in qualifying, so that car seems to be hooked up well. If he was doing a little bit of warm-up on race trim, then it seems to be hooked up well for qualifying as well as the race. Heading down the pit lane, as we see a few other cars also sat in pits. One of them with a front wing up in the air, so maybe a few repairs. And one of them with no rear wing or front wing. As Juan Guerrero pulls into his pit box. And we see Oboyski head out of the pit lane. Once again, this is warm-up, so it's just drivers finalising their setups. Getting their cars ready. Oh, that's not gone well for Oboyski. Hooked the rear wheel up on the apron, and that's him spun round. As we see Simon Witt here also do a very similar thing. Get the 2 wheels down on the apron, and that's not what you want to do, especially in these Indy cars. You know, you get that extra air because the car's sat up a little bit on the apron, so you get the extra air come underneath the car, and it just wants to lift up the rear and spin it round as well. It really doesn't help out too much, so if anything, you'd rather be that 5 centimetres up above the apron than 5 centimetres in it. But it all makes a difference. Witt's currently 9th place. He's 8 tenths off of Juan Guerrero. Seems to be going well though. He didn't have the greatest qualifying, spinning it out of turn 4 on his outlap, and that meant that he just couldn't really get in the flow and build the speed back up that he needed to for his 2 flying laps, and I believe that put him over a second down. But nonetheless, it was a good recovery considering the amount of speed that he lost. But he seems to be hugging that inside line very nicely. How fast he's going on Ks, I'm not 100% sure, but it looked like a very, very clean turn 1. Got a little bit of a battle here. Matt Sibanoy and Juan Guerrero. Matt Sibanoy not having the greatest qualifying either, knocking his car into the wall at turn 1 on his first flying lap, and that messed up his alignment and really struggled with the balance of the car for the remainder of the time, as he runs very, very deep there mid-corner. Just doesn't have the turn-in that Juan Guerrero does, and he's straight diving in the slipstream, try and build back some of that momentum. It'd be interesting to see if we do stick on these two, how much speed you're going to gain through the slipstream, but he just has so much mid-corner wash compared to Juan Guerrero. Guerrero's car's just very hooked up compared to Sibanoy's, and he's just completely gone as we head down into turn 3. Very tight entry, and he's just ran that little bit too wide and has to scrub off too much speed, and he's decided that he's heading back down into the pits. This is a number 2 car of Korev. He is currently running in a position. I can't quite see because the resolution's quite low on mine. He's running 8th. 6 tenths down on the pole time, or the fastest lap time, which is 27.692 from Guerrero, who was also fastest in qualifying. Chevrolet powered car, heading down into turn 3 and 4. seems to be running a mid-line, whether that was intentional or not. You carry that little bit extra speed, but obviously you're higher up the track, so you've got to go around a wider radius corner, so theoretically you've got more distance to travel. It's finding the balance between the distance of travel, and Korev's really slowing it down right on the inside of turn 2. That's not what I'd be doing personally, but he's back at pits now. As maybe all drivers are now heading back to the pits, as we see Simon Witt pull into his pit box. A little bit of a lock-up, but squares the car up nicely. And I presume that is the end of warm-up.
It is indeed, and with that being said, we're about to start the race. And this means it's time for the most famous words in motorsport. Drivers, start your engines.
Attention, start your engine. 30 seconds to start.
So, to start this 200 lap race, it will be a rolling start behind the safety car. I presume it's going to be 2 laps around the track, but if it is 1, then fair enough. One way to find out. All cars currently lined up in the pit lane. It'll be interesting to see who can get the jump, who's going to be in the lead at like 5 laps down the road. Because obviously if you're in the lead, then you're going to have every car behind you with the slipstream. As all the cars head out of pit road now. As we watch Matt Sibanoy in the Red Bull powered, the Red Bull car. He catches up to the rest of the grid. As Bivona's spun it. Probably not ideal what you want to be doing. As Matt Sibanoy heads back into the pit lane. Maybe he's choosing to do a pit lane start.
Actually, I forgot about that as well. We have recon laps going on. So there's 3 minutes and 45 seconds until the pits close. Drivers have time until then to exit the pits. And after that, there's another 2 minutes until the actual formation lap starts. I hate to admit it, but that one's on me as well. I forgot to turn it off. But it gives drivers another opportunity to make sure everything works, you know, to go through the gears, to make sure no one put sand in their tanks or nobody cut their brake lines, you know, stuff like that. I'm joking, but, you know, who knows what's happening in this sim, you know, it does weird things sometimes.
We have a very out of position car in about 4th or 5th place. I believe it's Bayer. He's about 45 degrees in his starting slot.
That's correct.
I know we're not going on green, but we're not going from the start line, but I think you want to be a little bit straighter than that. But
oh, sorry about that. It was my phone. I should probably mute it. Yeah, he's looking to the left. There's a lot of, well, not a lot, but enough room, I would call it, to the left. If we were to do a standing start, he would probably be able to get the jump on Bivona.
He's going for the Le Mans start, isn't he? Well, they all park up at 45 degrees down the side of the track.
Yeah, but you don't. He wouldn't want to be jumping out of the car and go over to the pit wall and then run over to it as soon as the green flag drops.
Hey. So we're just waiting on a few drivers to join up to the grid now. So it's Juan Guerrero, Korev, and Matt Sibanoy. As Pascal has said, we've got quite the time till the grid actually starts and the pit lane closes. So it's just all
nice.
drivers taking their time to make sure that everything's right.
It's a nice view on the grid as well. Like if you look on your screen, I would almost call it a romantic view of all these cars just stopped, and yeah, I don't know. What I'm wondering though is do we have any other G-force? Oh yeah, I'm just looking. If that's interesting, you may notice if we look at, let's have a look at my car real quick at the number 3 Penske, and then have a look at Agatino Bivona's car from the side. Look at their rear wing. The Lara's run a much higher downforce rear wing setup compared to the G-force. So that may be an advantage or disadvantage for either one of the chassis makes, since more you have that second plane on the rear wing of the Delara. You get more downforce, but you also lose straight line speed. With the G-force, if we look at Juan Guerrero, who's getting to the grid, it certainly helped him grab pole position, because you got I think that rear wing may even be at a negative angle if you look at it. So you got like such little downforce on the rear with that car, but you got a whole lot more top speed.
Well, one thing to note is you're going to gain speed in the slipstream no matter how much downforce you run, but with less wing, you're never going to gain more grip in the corners. So, yeah, you might have higher wings so you can go around the corners quicker, but if you're in the slipstream of someone, then you're going to get that extra straight line speed that you would have from less aero anyway. So it's going to be a bit of swings and roundabouts, really. See what the drivers can achieve, but with, as you say, with slightly different wing configurations, all drivers are running the same Firestone tyres, though. So that is one thing to be noted, so there's no tomfoolery there. It's simply just all drivers are on the same tyres, but they do have slightly different aero configurations, as well as engines and chassis.
Oh, look at that! Hold on. Oh, sorry about that. I'm really sorry to interrupt. I just watched Matthew Sibagnoni miss his grid stall in a reverse back into it, giving me a bit of a, what was it, Giancarlo Fisichella at Sepang. 2 years, 2001 and 2003 when he did that?
Maybe, yeah. No, I'm not going to say it was before my time, but maybe before I can remember. Quite a while ago.
Anyway, yeah, we got 1 minute to go. Engines are being started. You got 15 cars, that makes about 13,000 horsepower, fired up on the grid. Whew. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Of course I'm excited.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. 30 seconds, I think.
Yep,
we don't have the time for another ad break, but you can have a listen. You can have a listen to these Hondas and Chevys and Toyotas and whatever there is. They all sound very similar. But believe me, each one of them has their own quirks. With that being said, it's 3 seconds until the pace lap. Back to Jake. Have fun.
So we'll see all drivers get off the grid shortly as Juan Guerrero stalls on the formation lap. And a few drivers crash into each other behind him. That's not a great start to the race for Juan Guerrero, but I think he might have got away scot-free. It was the people behind him who all had a bit of a kerfuffle. But he's pulling over to the infield. He's pulled down onto the apron, so not quite ideal there for Juan Guerrero. Drama before the green flag even starts. And many drivers going back to the pits, so maybe we're having a restart here. That was not the way that many drivers wanted their night to start here.
Anyway, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt constantly.
No, go
on. This gives me time and the opportunity to finally restart the server properly and disabled the recon procedure. So the server is currently down. And with that being said, we'll go for a quick unscheduled ad break. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Some folks think my Subaru Outback here is just for exotic adventures. Truth is, it's good for the everyday stuff too. You know, like running down to the store, picking up the mail. The secret, full-time all-wheel drive. Something you just won't find in a Cherokee or a Blazer. Comes in handy when you, say, wait for a hair appointment.
Right, what's your mate? You know why I wear a hat.
Now that Barb and I are both regular,
we're free.
Have you been injured in an accident? Dinner in a box.
Depression and hair loss are not uncommon. I take Zecra, and it's batter up.
Just 3 minutes a day.
3 minutes a day! You too could have abs like Mindy. All it takes...
See, maybe there was something wrong.
Hear 100% commercial-free music on the most listened-to satellite radio service, Beyond AM, Beyond FM, XM Satellite Radio.
On quest for Sacred Shield, Lego braves had come, Red Fox among them. Indian fortress loomed above. Red Fox grabbed canoe, dodged falling trees, climbed hidden ladder. Sacred Shield was his.
All new Indians from Lego Western.
Evan Petty calls it hot, deliciously hot. Rob Damas raves, it's spontaneous consumption. It's a story of heat and redemption. From the creators of the Domino's Heat Wave, an epic author. Order a deliciously hot Domino's pizza. Get a free movie rental from Blockbuster Video when you rent another. Hot Domino's Pizza, a hot movie from Blockbuster Video. If you can't take the heat, get out of the doorway. Now get 2 medium pizzas with up to 3 toppings for $13.99. Domino's, delivering 1 million smiles a day.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Trinnering Motegi. And yeah, really sorry about that little blunder there. But we're about to be fixing it real quick. I'm doing the grid as we speak. The whole stuff about the recon lab, whatever, is turned off now. And I just need to look at the qualifying results again so that we can... And 2 people just left. Now, anyway, with that being said, I need... Yeah, okay. Need to just calm down. So, but then again, when has something ever gone completely right without any issues? Alright, qualifying results are up. There you go. Guerrero, Mikola, Pivona, Poskiparta, Bayer, then Levet, Wantor Korev, then Dom Wings, after Don Wings comes Filippo Marazzi, who's not on the server. That's... So Marazzi is not on the server. Why is he not on the server? Yeah, apologies for that. Stuff just tends to go wrong sometimes. Anyway, after Marazzi comes Stauga. He's in the correct position. Then Sipagnoni. Then Gillard. No, then wait, hold on. Then Witt. And then Gilardini and Oboiski. So the grid is currently set, except for Filippo Marazzi, who's not on the server, so I can't really set him if he's not there. And yeah, the race was supposed to start 41 minutes ago. Yeah. Okay, grid is set. I'm really just asking for one CMH race where stuff doesn't go wrong. I mean, come on. Anyway, yeah, the grid is set, and anyway, yeah. Sorry for the delay. I can only stress it enough. Back to Jake for the commentary. We'll go to race session immediately.
Okay, so we see all cars line up behind the pace car shortly. And a 200 lap race will shortly ensue. So no sighting lap this time round. When the flag drops, it will be a lap or two behind the safety car. And at that point, the green flag will be waved when the safety car pulls in and all drivers cross the start-finish line. As we head off now towards turn 1 for the formation lap. Juan Guerrero put his car on par with the two Team Penske cars, following not far behind. That's Pascal Mikola and Bivona. And after that, it was a good performance from Bayer and Levitt, with them making up the third row. Then Von Thor from South Africa and Koroev making up the row behind them. Unfortunate from Gilardini and Oboiski. They had troubles on their qualifying lap, so they're at the back of the grid. This was Matt Sibanoy. He's probably one to look out for as he hit the wall on his first qualifying lap, which ruined his suspension and his flow for the next two. So the safety car pulls in and we'll be getting away here shortly, going green when we cross the start-finish line. And we've already had one car in the wall, and one car might have blown an engine further back. It's green flag, and Pascal Mikola goes for the inside into the first corner. But he's slowing down too, and Bivona is behind him. Coming out of turn 2, the two Team Penske cars side by side. It's Pascal Mikola ahead of Bivona. They don't want to fight too much and lose too much time, as that will allow Juan Guerrero to head off into the sunset. But Mikola gets a very good exit out of turn 3, and he needs to get in the slipstream, but Bivona needs to really stop attacking Mikola, and they need to work together to catch up to Guerrero, who's ahead. They seem to be doing that. Look at the slipstream that they've got. Bivona running a little bit wider in the dirty air around the corners, but look at Mikola. He's gaining 0.2, heading down into the last corner. Around they go. Running a little bit wide, but he's sticking with Guerrero. You can see the toe really dragging him around as all the cars fly round the home straight. We saw a front wing fly away as well as someone hits debris from the car that went into the wall. Bivona touches down on the apron. That unsettles his car, but here comes Pascal Mikola right up behind Juan Guerrero. He's going to hold behind at this point. You can see him let off a little bit, maybe playing the long game here as we see sparks come off Guerrero's car around turns 3 and 4. Shows how low they're running them here. In the slipstream, he can just maybe what he's trying to do at this early stage is fuel save a little bit. He probably won't have to too much because the tyres are going to wear off much for fuel to fuel. But if he can just sit behind Guerrero on about half throttle down the straights, that's really going to help save him some fuel. But we'll have to see here, as he seems to be looking for the inside. Juan Guerrero runs very high up the circuit. He's going to struggle to not lose much momentum without putting the car in the wall. And Pascal Mikola takes the lead of the race as we head onto lap 4. Bavona's right behind 2 in the second of the Team Penske cars. Penske seem to have really got their cars sorted here. And Guerrero's all by himself. Ooh, Bavona having quite the moment on turn in there, and Guerrero runs wide. He's in the dirty air of Pascal Mikola, and that's allowed Bavona to get right up behind as we see all the cars close from 4th back 2. Bavona's looking for the inside at turn 1. Guerrero's going to run it high, try carry the extra speed around the outside, as Bavona's got less distance to travel, but because he's doing a tighter corner, he's going to struggle to carry more speed, and Guerrero hangs on to P2 for the time being. But Pascal Mikola's checking out. He's almost a second up the road. Bavona's all over the back of Guerrero, and they're losing time from this. They're not working together, but why would they? Because they're not in the same team. Guerrero, though, in the slipstream, he's pulled back 3 tenths down the home straight, and Bavona's not got the greatest line there around turn 1. He's very wide, as we see personal bests from Bayer, Posky Party, Levitt, and Witt all further down the grid. Seems to be very close between Posky Party and Van Four, but currently we're watching the lead battle here. Gran Guerrero and Pascal Mikola coming out the last corner. Is Guerrero going to try and take that lead position back that he earned in qualifying? He looks to the inside for turn 1 and he goes for the move. But Pascal Mikola should be able to tuck it in tight on the corner exit, which he does. And that will allow him to slingshot down the back straight. Is he going to go for it into turn 3, or is he going to stay behind? One way to find out. He goes for the inside, pulls out late, but Guerrero's hanging on around the outside. You can see how hard he's working that car to keep it on the track, and he just maybe grazes the wall. It was hard to tell as we see about 3 cars in the background there all hit the wall. That's not what we want to see, but Guerrero seems to got that high line working. Pascal Mikola touches the apron a little bit and he loses some time lifting out the throttle, but here comes Bavona. Are they going to work as a team, or are they going to try hang on and fight Guerrero? Mikola seems to be quite keen on that second position. Wow, the 2 Team Penske cars not holding out too much here. They're really going for it, as Bavona's right up behind Pascal Mikola now. Obviously the lead lap points, they're going to Guerrero and Mikola at the moment. No other drivers managed to lead the race, but this lead battle is looking very good. We seem to have quite the battle for 5th as well, all the way down to 7th as Mikola goes for the lead heading into turn 3. What's Guerrero going to do? Bavona needs to put his car up the inside to stop Guerrero getting the undercut, but they seem to have just managed to hold on to it as the cars behind don't seem to be losing too much time. Although a lot of them went into the walls. Pascal Mikola sets fastest lap. He's gone purple. But Juan Guerrero and Bavona are right behind him there. Are we going to see a little bit of calming down? So we're already 10 laps into this 200 lap race. 5% the way through. Guerrero seems to run wide, but Bavona's even wider. But he manages to keep it all together. So we see some very clean lines from 4th all the way down. It seems like Bayer's managed to pull a little bit of a gap over Vonfor and Posca Party. But don't forget Laura Levitt, who's quite high... Laura Levitt, who's quite holding on in 7th place there to the back of the pack. Posky Party all over the back of Vonfor. Vonfor having to go defensive. Posky Party getting caught out a little bit there. Under braking, and that's allowed Laura Levitt to catch even further closer to them as we see the lead battle here. Juan Guerrero and Pascal Mikola, new personal best from Bayer, and considering he's in no one's slipstream, you cannot complain about that. Bayer's finding some real pace here. Same with Korev, he's set a personal best too. Bavona's dropping off a little bit from the lead pack, but if Pascal Mikola and Juan Guerrero keep battling, then it's really going to allow Bavona, and maybe even Bayer, if he continues to find that pace, to allow him to catch up to the front of the grids. They're really not that far behind, and if they start working together, then they're going to start swallowing up Bavona if he cannot catch up to the top 2, because he's slowly dropping off. He's 0.9 off the lead now, 0.7 off of his teammate, But Pascal Mikkela's only 0.1 off, and we really need to be looking at an onboard on Pascal Mikkela, see what he's going to do here. Is he going to go for the inside at turn 1? Yes, he is. Pulls out nice and late, gets the most of that slipstream, and he holds the inside well. We get the little 360 camera here on top of Juan Guerrero's car. Is he going to make a move back down into turn 3? Hasn't quite got the speed. Pascal Mikkela's car, the number 3 Toyota-powered Dallara, is holding on, but Guerrero's had a much better mid-corner there in the number 10 G-Force, but he hasn't quite got enough speed to catch up to Pascal Mikkela down the straight. Mikkela now focusing on the corner exit. You see him running wide on turn in to bring the car in. Laura Levitt sets a new personal best, so she's slowly catching up to the back of Posky Party as well. But currently the main focus is on this lead battle between Juan Guerrero and Pascal Mikkela. As we see Matt Sibanoy, he hasn't had much fun, I'm presuming, as they're already catching up to him, and we're only just starting lap 16. Juan Guerrero gets a much better line. He gets a slipstream, and he's already 0.4 seconds up the road by the time we're halfway around turn 1. But they're both going to get the slipstream off Matt Sibanoy. What's Matt Sibanoy going to do? He should get out of the way. And Guerrero goes down the inside. Is he going to hold up Mikkela as well? No, he's not. But Mikkela and Guerrero have completely pulled away now from Pavona. And here comes Bayer. Bayer's closing up. He's only 2 seconds now, or 1 second I should say, off the back of Pavona. Really, really getting there. I thought they would, because Bayer's had a lot of good pace. He's been setting personal bests very, very consistent times over the last few laps. But last lap, Guerrero was a 26.8. And I should be able to tell you shortly. Oh, we have a spin further back. One of the blue cars. That might have been Matt Sibanoy being lapped. I might have missed that. I was looking at personal best, and I believe that could be a caution. We'll have to see. I think the grid's going slower.
Caution's out.
So, yellow flag. All cars hold position. We're only 18 laps into this race, so we're about halfway to where we'd likely see the first pit stops. But is anyone going to take the risk and go for a pit stop this early on? I highly doubt it, but there might be someone. Oh, someone went straight into the pit wall there, I think. It was one of the blue cars further back.
Oh, before something happens here, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention, but that's also very important, is the lucky dog. That means that one driver gets to lap the field and get his lap back. That one goes to Matthew Cipagnoni as we watch him. He's currently lapping the field to get back on the lead lap. And yeah, alright. that's just about it. Pits are now open as well.
So for the initial lap, I'm not sure if it was clarified, the pit lane is closed, but after one lap behind the safety car, the pit lane opens up. I presume this is to stop any reactionary moves, and it allows anyone who's in the queue of the safety car to have a fair game in the pit stop. How many laps we're going to be behind the safety car is unsure at the moment, but we're currently just starting lap 20. And your current leader is Juan Guerrero, with Pascal Mikkela hot on his heels. The only one really who's been able to stick with Guerrero in the early stages. Pavona stuck with him at the start, but he dropped back slowly into the reaches of Bayer. And now Bayer's going to have the slipstream from the two Penske cars. It will be very interesting to see what he can achieve, as he showed some very, very strong pace, nearly on par with the leaders, all by himself, not even in a slipstream from anybody else. But we're all very, very close at the back of the grid. I'm not sure why we're so close, but all the drivers checking up on each other. But I'm not sure if it's when the safety car goes in, or if it's at the line when the leader can go. But I'm sure we'll soon find out as the safety car pulls into the pit lane. Pascal Mikkela is eyeing up Juan Guerrero coming around turns 3 and 4. As the second of the Penske cars is also right with them. So holding pace, it seems to be at the green line. And the way they go, there's a lot of shuffling way back in the grid. Laura Levitt seems to have got a very poor start. And the two Team Penske cars fly away right behind Juan Guerrero in the Chip Ganassi racing car. Matt Bayer has lost a position there to Vomfor on the start, so he obviously hasn't had the greatest restart, but Bayer was showing much better pace than Vomfor. As Bavona's all over the back of Mikola, that's not really what we want to be seeing for a team effort there, but it'll be interesting to see how quick Bayer can get past Vomfor again, as Bavona goes very aggressive on the defence for Mikola. That's not what we want to be seeing. All they're doing is slowing each other down and allowing Juan Guerrero to get ahead. And judging by the early stages, I would say as a Penske team, Mikola is going to have that little bit more lap pace over Bavona, as Bavona dropped off with about 10 laps in the race. But Guerrero's got a 0.7 gap lead over Mikola. As we see, Simon Witt has made up very, very good progress. He's battling with Poskipata at the moment. They are side by side into turn 1. Simon Witt didn't have the greatest qualifying, spinning out of turn 4 on his qualifying, his first, no, it was his outlap, wasn't it? He spun out, and that just really offset his pace, and he was about a second and a half down. He was one of the back markers on the grid, but he's worked his way up to 7th. So he's already halfway up through the field, but he's struggling from a lot of understeer. So we saw Laura Levitt there, and Galandri go side by side. Ghilardini, I should say. I was thinking of Marco Melandri there. But Ghilardini, he's made up good pace as he spun, I believe, on his outlap and put his car in the wall. So the team have done a very, very good job to get their car sorted. But he's almost rubbing wheels with Laura Levitt, as I thought they were going to go 3 wide there. Laura Levitt, very, very good on the inside, gets past Simon Witt, and it looks like Ghilardini's going to do as well if he can get the extra speed from the slipstream, but not quite enough. Simon Witt's car, he has got the Toyota powered engine, which is the same as Pascal Mikola and Bavona in 3rd place, but Mikola's taken the lead of the race. We must have missed that. But Bayer is all over the back of Vomfor, further back in your picture. Is he going to be able to get past? He's looking for the outside of turn 1. Doesn't look like it, but if he can tuck it in well, then he might get the little bit of extra exit speed that he needs as Poskipati sets his new personal best lap. Is he going to be able to get a manoeuvre done? He's looking for the outside. I don't think that's going to work. Turn 3 is a good place to make a manoeuvre, because you've got to brake hard into the corner, drop it down a few gears, and it's where you're going to lose the most speed. So turn 1 is a much wider radius. You haven't got to slow down anywhere near as much. As Pascal Mikola is now right over the rear end of Juan Guerrero. He's pulled in half a second over 2 or 3 laps here. But once again, Bavona's dropped back. He's about a second and a half off. As we see, the 13th place car seems to be having a few issues. He's way off on my track map, but Pascal Mikola is down the inside of Juan Guerrero. As we see some very, very good camera shots here. Pascal Mikola, but here comes Guerrero. He's got the wider radius of corner to do. He can carry more speed, but he's got to travel a longer distance. They're still side by side, front wheel on rear wheel. What's going to happen here in the last corner? Guerrero's still going to try and challenge, but surely he'll lose out on corner exit. Mikola's got a lot less distance to travel, a little bit of a squirm, but he manages to hold on to the position heading down into turn 1. At one time, we've got a very, very close battle between Vire and Vomfor. They're only about 2 fences apart for the battle for 5th and 6th. As they come down out of turn 2, what's Bayer going to be able to do? He's been stuck behind Vomfor for quite a while now and hasn't been able to put in any personal best laps, so it'll be interesting to see how he's going to get past Vomfor, as Vomfor seems to be running a very good line here, where to the point where Bayer just can't get past, but they're both slightly losing time to Bavona, who's in front of him in the second of the Penske cars. Sparks once again flying off the cars as they round turn 1. Just shows how low they're running them to the ground to try and get the most out of the car. But once again, in the slipstream, Vomfor's going to hold the exact same line, and Bayer's going to try for the outside again. And it's just not going to work, and he can't get the car low down enough to slingshot it off the corner on Vomfor. But he is going to get the slipstream here, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. Vomfor is running the... I'll be able to tell you shortly. I would be able to tell you. Hang on, right, Bayer's running the Honda engine and Vomfor's running a Toyota, and the Toyota engines in the Penske cars are very, very, doing very well, I should say, as they're currently running P1 and P3. So Vomfor's got the engine that seems to be of the preferred car, because Juan Guerrero is also running a Toyota engine, so Bayer is currently the leader of the Honda cars. Everything else in front of him is a Toyota. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do. Maybe the Toyota is slightly more suited to this track, but Vonfor's really just running a good line. He's holding off to the point where he's not losing too much time. I think they are slowly catching up to Bavona, and Pascal Michel has pulled a gap now of about half a second. Petteri Poskapata takes a new personal best once again, and Bayer's just stuck behind Vonfor. There's very little he can do at this point in the race. But we are getting to the mid-30s of the laps, so we should see the pit stops open up shortly. But once again, maybe it's people waiting on another caution because we've already had one and we're not even a quarter of the way through the race. But everyone seems to be a little bit more spread out now. We've got 3 cars who are further down, as this is the battle for 9th place, I believe, and I think someone's come into the pit lane. This is Ghilardini. Always Dorga hooks the car up on the apron, and that's him very wide out of turn 2, and Ghilardini is pretty much checked out at this point. I think we have the 11th place car, which is Simon Witt. I believe he's in the pit lane, so he's pit quite early. He's only pit on lap 35. We're expecting cars to pit around the lap 40 to 45 mark. So it'll be interesting to see if him pitting early pays off. But he did make up good place because he started quite a way down the grid. Here we go. Bayer has finally managed to pull a move on Bonfor. Oh, what? That's one of the Penske cars has lost it. I think that's Bivona, and that's a caution. So I'm sure we'll see everyone dive into the pits. It was a very well-timed caution. I thought we'd have one, but Bivona has lost the car, and that's him. Well, I don't actually know where that's put him. I don't see him on the timing screens anymore. Oh no, he's 7th on the timing screens, but Bayer couldn't quite get the manoeuvre done, and we're all going to catch up to the pace car at the end of this lap. And then I'm sure we'll see some pit stops appear shortly after. Who the lucky dog is, I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure Pascal Michela will be able to tell me who that is if he pops it into the chat. But one car is allowed to overtake the pace car, who is currently a lap or more down.
Well, the drivers that are a lap or more down will be, I can tell you that, German Korev is 3 laps down, Simon Witt is 3 laps down, Dom Wings is 3 laps down, Matthew Oboyski is 2 laps down, and Matthew Sibagnoni is 2 laps down. He is the lucky dog, and he is getting past the field. And now the pits are open, so let's see what happens. Juan Guerrero is diving into the pits, Martin Bayer is diving into the pits.
I reckon everyone will be in the pits,
yeah, everyone.
Being completely honest.
Exactly. The tires are slowly getting worn. Boskipata, Levitt, everyone is in the pits, yes. Oh, there was some smoke on the track. I think Simon Witt got a bit too ambitious.
To be fair, Simon Witt, he pitted a lap or 2 ago, so I don't know. He is 2 laps down, but it depends how much time he's going to make up behind the safety car. But you know, he is 2. If he wasn't 2 laps down, then maybe this would play out well for him. But we've got a few cars staying out. Korolev and Matt Sibanoy is staying out. Maybe they'll pit in next lap, but I'm not sure. But Juan Guerrero exits the pits. He seems to be ahead of Pascal Michela, and it looks Dorga's taking the lead of the race.
Dorga is taking the lead, and that means he will get 5 points for leading a lap.
Simon Witt's pulled into the pit, so I thought he'd already pitted. Maybe I was mistaken.
He may have some more issues. Oh, Sibagnoni is going slow. I think, yeah, everyone's slowing down for the pace car. I think everyone needs to notice that it's, you know, we're under full course yellow. You don't go racing speed. You have to slow down, and even if you catch up to the pace car, you cannot just put your foot on the floor.
One thing to note, I'm not sure if Dorg is aware of this, but on my screen he doesn't have a front wing. Now, Wings is currently 2 laps down.
You're right. You're right. Dorga doesn't have a front wing.
Whether he knows this or not is a different story, but it could explain as to why he's been struggling quite a bit in this early stages of the race.
Anyway, the pace car is coming in this lap. Who knows? Maybe at some point Dogan will get called in with the meatball flag. Anyway, yeah, onto the green flag we go this time by.
So, Dom Wings is going to be leading us onto the green flag. He's currently 2 laps down though, so he'll soon have to get out of the way of Dorga, who's in the lead at the moment. The next person for position is Guerrero, so he's got 2 cars he needs to clear before he's on for the lead. And Dom Wings seems to be holding on to that position. Guerrero's kind of getting swallowed up a little bit here. That's the Penske car of Pascal Mikkela's got the inside line. And Guerrero's stuck behind the back marker. It's a blue car. I can't tell you which one it is. It's not Matt Sibanoy. He's in the Red Bull car. But he seems to have... Guerrero's lost a lot of ground here. Bayer couldn't quite get past, but Von Force had a very, very good opening lap once again. He's managed to get 2 positions gained there. He's got past Guerrero and Bayer, but Guerrero's looking for the outside. Von Force going to hold that central line once again. Pascal Mikkela is being held up by Matt Sibanoy here on the inside line. But they're all looking, they're all scrambling for positions. This could get bad here. Guerrero's going around the outside though. He's looking for the outside of Von Force. Von Force washing up the track. He's scrubbed off a little bit too much speed. Can he slingshot it out the corner? Oh, there might have been contact there for Matt Sibanoy, who's really struggling to get out the ways. He is a lap down at the moment. Guerrero's all over the rear of him. Sibanoy really needs to get out the way, ideally, but Bayer's probably going to be the one who's making the most of this, as he's just sat in a slipstream watching Guerrero be held up by Sibanoy. As Bayer...
Yellow flag's out again, yellow flag.
Yellow flag. I'm not quite sure. It seems to be the 8th position car. That might be Laura Levitt. So we've got a car on the inside of turn 3 parked. It seems to have got moving again. Yeah, it was Laura Levitt. No rear wing on that car, so maybe just backs it into the wall. But yeah, the rear wing is out on the outside of turn 4. Yeah, it's backed it into the wall. Locked up the rears on entry. And maybe went down the gearbox a little bit too fast, locked the rears up on entry, locked all 4s and went straight on into the wall. Not quite ideal, but shouldn't lose to... Oh, they did whack the front wing into the wall. Got enough turning circle though to make it down into the pits. Christian Dorga still hasn't got that front wing, but is not doing too bad. Holding 6th place. It probably would make sense to pit and get that new front wing. He is doing that. As once again, Simon Witt pulls into the pits. I think that's the 3rd pit stop he's made now.
And once again, Matthew Sibagnoni is getting the lucky dog. He's now back on the... He got 3 lucky dogs in a row, so he's now back on the lead lap. He was 2 laps down just a few laps ago. He got the lucky dog twice, and now he is... Well, he's back on the lead lap.
He does seem to be struggling though with car setup. His car doesn't look anywhere near as planted as the others on track, but it'll be interesting to see what he can do on the lead lap. It might just be me, but I don't think Simon Witt's got a front wing either, and he's just come out of the pit lane. As we're currently watching the Honda Power car of Bayer drive around, he's got Bivona right behind him in the second of the Penske cars. Bivona had a spin early on, which didn't really aid his race. He was running a very strong P3. But probably the best gainer out of the last yellow flag was Von Force. He went all the way from about 5th to 2nd. There was nothing that really anyone could do about it. So there were a lot of lap cars in between the lead positions, and just Von Force made the most out of it.
So Simon Witt is now repairing his front wing again. Laura Levitt just got a longest line penalty for probably pitting under closed pits, since she backed her car into the wall, as far as you said. So yes. She probably didn't have much choice. So she's going to be at the back of the queue for the green flag. And we're going green this time by. And yeah, that's going to be quite interesting. We've got 8 cars now on the lead lap. And 6 cars being one or more laps down.
So the safety car is pulling into the pits. It'll be interesting to see if Vomfor can make another one of his great starts and be a contender for the lead of this race. Grab them 5 points for leading a lap. Doesn't matter how many laps you lead, but by my reckoning, it's probably going to be Mikola who is leading the most amount of laps. So it's a very, very good start from Mikola. He gets the breakaway on Vomfor. Guerrero, this time round, has got a good start, and I reckon coming into turn 3, we'll probably see some manoeuvre action here. Guerrero just really hooking the car up well. It's set up so well, his car. He's all over the back of Vomfor, but Vomfor had to hold up a faster car of Bayer behind for many laps, so it'll be interesting to see how well he can hold up Vomfor. Just holding that middle inside line seems to work really well for him, but I reckon Guerrero is going to dip for the inside here. No, he's not. He's going to try go around the outside. Maybe just let off the throttle a little bit, tuck it in on the corner exit and slingshot it out. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Picking up the slipstream out of turn 2. Be interesting to see what Guerrero can do, because Vomfor's just going to run the exact same line that he's done all day on Bayer, and he's just going to hold the line. Guerrero has to drop back a little bit, can't carry the extra speed around the outside, but Vomfor's really, really got that defensive line on point as to where he's not losing too much time over a lap to what he usually is, as Vomfor sets a new personal best, I must say. But yeah, Guerrero, there's just nothing he can do about it at this point in the race. Vomfor's just got that defensive line spot on, as Guerrero's a bit later on the brakes, but there's nothing he can do about it. The only really gaining car out of this is Pascal Mikola in the lead of the race, as Vomfor is probably a little bit out of slipstream range now. Oh, Vomfor needs to tuck it down low. Guerrero's going to push him up the track. This could be the point where second place is conceded. Vomfor's got that little bit of extra speed though. They're both running the Toyota engine. As the number 5 car gets very twitchy under brakes, and he's going to run it up wide, but they'll probably tuck it back in, and that's going to allow him to just get that little bit of extra speed. As now there's a 1 second gap to Pascal Mikola in the lead. He hasn't lost too much time, but there goes Guerrero. Vomfor maybe letting him through. He didn't seem to defend that one too much, but we'll soon see if it was intentional or not if he goes back for the manoeuvre into turn 3. And it looks like he is. He's just got that extra speed on corner exit, but Guerrero's got a lot of mid-corner speed, and that's going to allow him to stay ahead of Vomfor for the time being. But Vomfor's fighting back. He dips in right behind, but unfortunately Bayer, he's about a second and a half off, and he just can't pick up the slipstream. Because although these two are battling, they're still pulling time. They're actually catching up to Pascal Mikola in the lead. Whether they're working together intentionally or not, I don't know, but it's working. And they're really reeling Pascal Mikola in. They've pulled him in half a second just this lap. We are on lap 51. All cars have made their first pit stops, and we won't be seeing any stops for fuel until the midpoint of the race. But that gap slowly crept up to 0.6. But all 3 cars are now going to be in slipstream length of each other. So we should see Guerrero and Vomfor, if they don't battle too much, slowly pull in on Pascal Mikola. But Pascal Mikola, fair play to him. He's pulled out the gap to 0.8 and he's running all by himself. He doesn't have any advantage as a slipstream. And I say that Guerrero isn't really close enough to actually be affected too much by the dirty air, but that kind of says it all about Pascal Mikola at the moment. He's just set fastest lap and he's not even in anyone's slipstream. He's pulled half a second back on Guerrero, because Vomfor's really dropped off the back of Guerrero now. He's about 0.6 back. But Guerrero and Mikola are really in another league at the moment. They seem to be setting very, very similar lap times. But the car on fire at the moment is Pascal Mikola, as Vomfor sets a new personal best, but it's not at the pace of Guerrero or Mikola, but he is still hanging on. He's not a million miles away, but further back, here we look at Dorga and Mats Sibanoi. This is the battle for 7th position. Dom Wings in front of them is 2 laps down. Actually, he's a lap down, I'm sorry. But Mats Sibanoi's gonna run a little bit wide. Dorga drops it down on the apron though. And that's the position gained. Wow. Nice little manoeuvre there. A little bit scruffy, but he got the position. That's all that he really needed. Oh, he touches down on the apron though, little bit sloppy there from Dorga, but Matt Sibonoi followed him and did the exact same thing, whether that was him trying to avoid him. He's lost a little bit of time. Look how far back he is. Dorga's a million miles up the road at this point. But Matt Sibonoi, he's currently on the lead lap. He's been very lucky, so every time there's been a yellow flag, he's been able to unlap himself, because only one driver can on a random vote, and every single time it's been Matt Sibonoi so far. So he's been very lucky in that regard, but at the moment Dorga is just completely checking out. He's a million miles up the road and he's pulled even more time. It'd be interesting to see what Guerrero's doing, as he's only 0.3 of a second now behind Pascal Mikola for the lead of the race. As we saw Sibonoi there run quite wide, but he managed to keep the car out of the wall, so that's a good thing to see. But Guerrero seems to be on a bit of a charge as Dorga sets a new personal best. Maybe that was him getting past Sibonoi holding him up for a while. But we can actually see all of them are pulling in on Pascal Mikola, but Pascal Mikola responds. He's pulled the gap out to 0.6 heading into turn 1. Although they are all running that Toyota engine, it seems like the setup, because they're running slightly different chassis, I believe. I believe Pascal Mikola is running a Dallara, and Guerrero is running a G-Force chassis. So the G-Force has got a little bit less straight line aero, but it loses out in the corners. But Guerrero seems to have the car set up really well, and the gap's holding about half a second. But you've got to realise that Guerrero's got the slipstream every straight on Pascal Mikola, and Mikola's just holding the gap. So whether Mikola's burning through his tyres a little bit quicker than Guerrero, whether Guerrero's able to let out the throttle a little bit in a straight line, just hold it in the slipstream, I'm not sure. But as they catch up to the back markers, I'm sure this could entail a little bit of aid here for Guerrero, maybe even Vonfor, because Vonfor's slowly dropping back. But if they do get held up a little bit by the back markers, this could really help out Vonfor's hopes here as a race leader contender. Pascal Mikola has managed to clear the back marker of Oboiski rather swiftly. And here comes Juan Guerrero. Oboiski goes high, and Guerrero swiftly goes down the inside. So a nice clean overtake there for the leaders. And I'm sure it will be a similar case for Vonfor, as Oboiski seems to be very aware of what's going on. Yeah, Oboiski goes high, Vonfor goes through, no problems there whatsoever. So it's currently Toyota Power 1, 2 and 3, and Bayer is the leading Honda in 4th, but he's dropped quite the way back now. He's about 5 seconds off Vonfor, and I don't think any amount of slipstream is going to be able to allow him to catch up anytime soon. There doesn't really seem to be any cars between them, but Pascal Mikola, not sure what he ate for breakfast this morning. He's pulled a second and a half over Juan Guerrero. We see Matt Sibonoi there heading into the pit lane. Whether that's for fuel or tyres. Oh, Vonfor has a slight graze of the wall there. But, wow, Pascal Mikola 2 seconds up the road from Juan Guerrero. And all, as I've said, it's all in clean air. He doesn't have the advantage of a slipstream. Oh, so we've got a little battle here. It's Ghilardini, Dorga and Korev. This is the battle for, well, between Ghilardini and Dorga. It's the battle for 6th. And Korev's in 12th, about 2 laps down from them. But Dorga's been on quite the charge recently. He's had some very, very good laps put in. And here he goes, around the outside. The USA branded Chevrolet power car. Ghilardini, though, managing to hold on a little bit. He tucks the car down low. A little bit of a brush on the apron, but nothing major. Ghilardini's going to run him all the way up to the wall. He stays behind. Pascal Mikola goes purple once again. Very quick lap from him. He's 2.5 seconds up the road now. Little bit of an apron touch there from Dorga. But this is looking to be a very, very good little battle. See how Ghilardini can defend. He's going inside. He's weaving a little bit over the track. But Dorga's going to run it high, cut it in low on the exit. He knows what he's doing. Look at the extra amount of speed. He just can't get on the power because he runs straight into the back of Ghilardini. Ghilardini's not going to let him have the inside, so he's going to have to go high. Korev's all over the back of Dorga as well, and that's not even for position. But Dorga's running it low. Is he going to be able to get a slightly better exit? He's got the slipstream and he is pretty close. Korev's also looking in the slipstream too. Ghilardini goes low. It's what he seems to like to do. It's not quite the line that Vonfor was running. Vonfor was a little bit higher, so he could carry the extra speed. But look, Dorga's all over the back of Ghilardini. Ghilardini has to finally let him go to the inside. There might have been contact. Ghilardini turns in, but I'm afraid Dorga's there. And that is 6th place claimed for Christian Dorga in the Chevrolet powered car. Good little battle there. But Juan Guerrero, is that a gap down to 1 second? Am I seeing that right? He's pulled a 1.5 seconds. Is that going to be a new fastest lap of the race? I can speak. And he's pulled the gap down to 0.7, 0.8. Maybe this was Pascal Mikola having a little bit of a mistake, or he's burned through his tyres. But he's pulled the gap down 347 kilometers an hour. That is a best lap for Juan Guerrero, I believe. 347 kilometers an hour, not miles an hour. I do apologise. But Guerrero's pulled the gap down to 0.7 from 2.5 seconds. And they're catching up to traffic now, coming out of the last corner too. So this will be very interesting to see how they can get through the back pack. But it would be great to see what Pascal Mikola and Juan Guerrero are doing as they're catching up to Korolev. Coming into turn 3. The gap's down to 0.7. Mikola's got the slipstream from the car in front, but he's also going to have the dirty air. That's not what he needs. The car parking it on the inside of the corner. He needs to get past. He's lost a little bit of time. The gap's down to 0.5 seconds. Here comes Guerrero. He's going to have the slipstream Korolev. Korolev's going high. Guerrero goes low, and this is the point where Guerrero is now in a very, very good position to slipstream Mikola. The gap's down to 0.4 seconds, powering off turn 2. All the way down to 0.2 seconds. 0.1 as we head into turn 3. Then 2.5 seconds. He's looking to go around the outside. He's not going to be able to hold that, surely. Mikola gives him the room, though, and he slingshots it off the last corner. What a move from Juan Guerrero. He around Pascal Mikola around the outside. Heading down into turn 1, Mikola is going to try and fight back. Nothing he can do. Guerrero is on a charge at the moment. Last lap was a 28.8 from Guerrero, and Pascal Mikola, or 26.8 I should say, and Pascal Mikola was a 27.3, so over 6 tenths faster, or 5 tenths faster from Juan Guerrero last time round. And that is a fastest lap of the race as well. Oh, wow. What a cracking battle for the lead. Juan Guerrero's not exactly checking out, but Pascal Mikola is sticking with him, but only just 0.4 seconds. Probably see that get down to about 0.2 by we're braking for turn 3. Oh, Guerrero very, very good on the brakes in mid-corner there. Did Pascal Mikola burn through his tyres? We're getting onto the point of lap 80, so we should see them pit in and make their second stop too, but maybe they're waiting for another caution or a safety car. There's Simon Witts in the pit lane, as well as Bavona. I think Bavona's retired, actually. I must have missed that. So that's the second of the Penske car, who was running very well in the early stages. He was running P3. I believe that's him retired. But here's Pascal Mikola now, all over the back of Guerrero. Look at him go. He is looking all over the rear. Weaving left, weaving right. Just little movements to try and offset Juan Guerrero. But, oh, we've got the car down low. That's Simon Wext in the pit lane. I thought he'd lost it on the apron there, but they're now both going to have the slipstream from Christian Dorga, who's about to be lapped for 6th place. He's the last car. Well, he's about to be lapped for the first time. Whether he'll appreciate that or not is probably not. But either way, Juan Guerrero and Pascal Mikola. Well, this is allowing Pascal Mikola to catch up to Juan Guerrero, as Guerrero's going to have to try and go on the outside, and that's not what he wants. Pascal Mikola is going to get a much better exit, much less affected by the traffic. Look at that gap, 0.2, 0.1 as we head down into turn 3. Oh, Boyski just gets out of the way in time. Guerrero runs it deep into the corner. This is intense now. Matt Sibanoy, as we head on to lap 76, is all over the rear. He pulls in front of Dorga and down the inside of Guerrero into turn 1, but Guerrero's going to hold the outside as they split. Matt Sibanoy going round turn 2. What a manoeuvre from both drivers, and who's going to be in the lead? The timing says Pascal Mikola, but I think it's Juan Guerrero. So they head down into turn 3. Mikola's going to have the inside. Look at them go side by side around turns 3 and 4. Pascal Mikola's going to hold the inside. Get on that power sooner because he's closer to the inside, but Juan Guerrero's still holding on. Just a car length in front for Pascal Mikola. What a lap of racing here at the Indy 300. Juan Guerrero all over the rear of Pascal Mikola, 0.2. Surely he's going to have enough to get in front here, coming down into turn 3, or at least be somewhat alongside. He's been later on the brakes all day than Mikola, and he looks for the inside. Mikola runs out high. Wow, what a race is Guerrero. These two swapping positions every single lap. Pascal Mikola just carrying the extra momentum off the corner, and he cuts in front of Guerrero. Give him a little bit of that dirty air. Wow, what a last few couple laps we've had here at the Indy 300 in the twin ring Motegi. Wow, what a race so far. Guerrero's not giving up, but Matsubanoy is going to cut in late and carry the extra speed off the corner, but we're coming up to lap 80. We all pitted around lap 35, I believe, at the second safety cars. Guerrero goes for the inside. Matsubanoy just left the door wide open, and he drives straight through. Matsubanoy, Pascal Mikola. Sorry about that. As we've had maybe a disconnect there from Juan Guerrero, not 100% sure, but he's pulled the gap out to 0.3 now. Maybe Pascal Mikola is going to head into the pits soon. Maybe that's what he's done. Not 100% sure. Either that or his tyres are absolutely gone, as both of these drivers have really had to push the last few laps. Wow, this has been a great race so far. We're not even halfway through. Further down the field, we can see that Bayer and Poscapati, they're only about half a second apart. So it'd be interesting to see what they're doing at the moment, as they're currently going through back markers. It's Ghilardini on the inside. He's currently in 7th place, about a lap down, but Poscapati, he is all over the rear of Bayer. Poscapati is another driver in a Honda. Oh, but he runs very, very deep there. That's going to help Bayer get away. But he should be able to carry a little bit more speed as Christian Dorga sets a new personal best lap, but he's a lap down. He's the car behind. It might be Ghilardini, hasn't got a front wing, either that or it's very, very dark coloured, and that's why I can't quite see it. But they're both now catching up to Matsubanoy. He's holding up the high line, and that's Christian Dorga through, but Poscapati is not a million miles behind, but Sibanoy is going to hold the middle of the corner, running up high on exit to allow him to go through. And Bayer seemed a little bit high there on the exit, but not a million miles off. Poscapati is definitely the catching car though, but Guerrero's only 0.1 of a second off Pascal Mikola for the lead, as they're now going around turn 4. Guerrero on the outside. Not going to happen, but he's in the slipstream. Look at how much he's pulling him in, but is he going to lose it all? He's going to run slightly high, get out the dirty air, and he should cut it in on the corner exit. Try slingshot it out. Mikola's drifted a little bit higher than Guerrero here. Mikola wants to go defensive. He's not going to do it though. He's going to let Guerrero have the inside. Maybe try run it deep. But no, Mikola's going to try hold it around the outside. I don't think that's going to quite work. But look at the speed Guerrero can take off the corner. But it's not enough for Matsubanoy. He's got the undercut as I thought he would. But wow, what a race this is for the lead. Same with Bayer and Poscapati, they're only a 10th apart now. It'll be interesting to see what they're doing, but the focus is for the lead. But Poscapati all over the back of Bayer. Heading round turn 2, he's going to cut the car into the corner. Try carry the extra speed. Is he going to do it? What's Bayer going to do defence-wise? Poscapati is right up the rear diffuser of Bayer. He sends it down the inside, but he's ran quite deep. He's had to scrub a lot of speed. What can Bayer do on corner exit? I think he just got thrown off a little bit there and couldn't quite carry the speed. But Guerrero, once again, 0.1 off Mikola. Down the back straight, heading into turn 3. The Toyota-powered cars battling away all, but they've got the back marker in front of Laura Levitt as she dives into the pit lane. And that's going to be her out of the way swiftly. But Pascal Mikola actually managed to pull a gap from that. He's 4 tenths up the road now. But Guerrero is well within that slipstream distance. No push to pass. No nothing. It's pure driving skill as far as I'm aware, as we're currently on lap 86 of 200. We should be seeing some pit stops soon, as I cannot see the tyres. Maybe they're just running it till the tanks go dry and then they're just going to refuel it. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact there from Pascal Mikola in the wall. Not quite sure, but he's definitely a little bit wide on turn 1 exit. But he's going to cut it in and try carry the extra speed off the corner. Pascal Mikola, though, seems to be going very, very defensive at this point. We see the T-cam spot into the render distance. Juan Guerrero, though, looking for the inside. Maybe just trying to throw Mikola off a little bit, as Mikola's ran high on the exit. That's going to allow Guerrero to really carry the extra speed and the grunt from running a straighter line out of the corner. But Mikkel is doing a cracking job here to hold on to the lead. And Guerrero took pole, and he wants that top position back. Wow. So once again, it's Bayer and Poski-Parser. They're only a 10th for part 2, but we're catching up to back markers, and this could be interesting as Matt Sivanoy is down on the apron for the pit lane. Fucking Pascal Mikkel, Pascal Mikkel is very, very high up on the track, and Guerrero is going to try to take advantage of that, but is Mikkel going to be able to carry that little bit of extra speed? Yes, he is. But we've got a yellow flag. Not sure what car it is, but we've got a yellow flag. It might be Laura Levitt. She came down from the top of the track. Maybe a little bit of contact with the wall. Not 100% sure. It might. It's Von 4. Von 4's out of the race. Not quite sure what happened with him. I don't know if this is a way of getting an action replay, but Von 4 seems to be out of the race. He was running a very, very strong race, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe an engine blow? Not quite sure. It seems to be weird. He just pulled over to the inside of the track, but that's 1-4 out of the race from a very, very strong position.
Well, it looked like he either blew his engine or he ran out of fuel, and Christian Dauger is now speeding around the field because he just got the lucky dog.
So that's quite good news for Dorger, because I believe Dorger was only a lap down, so that's going to put him back on the lead lap.
Exactly. And this caution was also very well timed, because we're now on lap 91. So 90 laps are complete. We're only 10 laps from the race being official. And that means everyone can now calm down and go to the pits. With that being said...
everyone will.
With that being said, I think we can go for a quick little break.
I'll take one.
Here you go. Your shoulder pad.
Oh, thanks.
You can pay us later.
Introducing new Gatorade Lemonade. Quenches deep body thirst the way only lemonade made by Gatorade can.
1, 2, 3.
Hey, whose lucky day is this? Step right up, give it a try.
Top secret kettle corn's ready!
That's right. Now you can get the sweet taste of the county fair right in your own home. Introducing Pop Secret Kettle Corn. It's sweet, it's salty, and it's brand new from Pop Secret.
Want to take your minutes further?
Good.
Well, now you can.
Good.
Introducing America's Choice, the plan where all of your minutes are national minutes. Sign up on a plan starting at $35 monthly access and get an extra 3,000 national night and weekend minutes per month for life on the America's Choice Network.
Good.
And now save $50 to $100 on select Motorola phones. So make the smart choice and sign up for America's Choice.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
And welcome back to Tring-Ring Motegi. This is Pascal Mikkel to take it with Microlin, with Jake in the commentary box. We just went back to green and went immediately back to yellow. Simon Witt forgot how to take the restarts. He spun on the start-finish line. So, yeah, that's just what happened. Anyway, now we're back under yellow. It's the 4th caution of the day, I think. And with 93 laps complete, Simon Wood just got the lucky dog to unlap himself. That means he will be only 5 laps down now. And here he comes. He may need to pit though.
It seemed like what happened is he got on the throttle really soon, but he had to avoid a car. He had to avoid Ghilardini, I believe. Because Ghilardini was running really slow and he swerved to get out of the way, and then that threw him into the outside wall. I don't think it was him getting on the power too soon. I think it was him just making a reactionary move to avoid going into the back of Ghilardini than anything else.
Well, let's see how this goes. Witt has now gotten past the pace car.
But Witt hasn't got a front bumper.
He doesn't have a front wing either. Yeah, well, I mean, he hit the wall. So, and we're going green next time by as well now. Dalger in the pits, Korev in the pits. Korev had a big hit onto turn 1. So that was a bit of a messy start, if I say so myself. Then again, we're almost 50% through the race. We're now on lap 95. The restart will take place on lap 96, and all the while Juan Guerrero is grabbing lead laps for himself. So the battle for who gets the bonus points for most laps led is going to be close. I think we need to keep track of that. I don't know why Matthew Oboyski is just... So Simone Ghilardini is dropping back. I don't actually know what's happening.
I think Ghilardini's just letting everybody else go through. Who's ahead?
I think he got a longest line penalty. Anyway, the pace car is now in, and we're looking for another restart.
It'll be very interesting to see what Poski-Parta and Bayer can achieve, as they were running quite quick actually in that last stage, but they've got a few cars to try and get through. That's Laura Levitt and Matt Sibonoi if they want to try and get onto the lead pack, but Guerrero has really got a gap here. He's already a second up the road from Pascal Mikola, so a cracking start. So we see Korev on the inside there, but Mikola's caught right up to the back of Guerrero right away. All cars seem to be going quite slowly. I thought we were under green there, but maybe not. Maybe we've got another yellow flag.
The green flag never dropped. The green flag never dropped.
I thought the green flag dropped.
Now we go.
Okay. So the green flag has dropped, and Pascal Mikola's had an absolute shocker of a start. Everyone's flying around him.
I just told everyone to hold position. I just told everyone to hold position. Jesus Christ!
Poski-Parta went flying into the back of someone. Not sure who it was, but Guerrero, he's pulled a second ahead of Mikola. Here comes Bayer. Bayer's in second place. He's only 3 tenths down now. And he seems to be going for the lead. What's going on at this current point in the race, I'm not 100% sure. But Pascal Mikola is 7 seconds down on the lead now. 8 seconds, 9 seconds, so not really sure what's going on. But Juan Guerrero and Bayer seem to be pulling away as they catch up to Laura Levitt, who's a lap down. Poski-Parta, Dom Wings and Ghilardini are all in the pits, and so here comes Juan Guerrero. He's in the pits too.
He got a drive-through. That's because because Matthew Oboyski started passing the field. Simone Ghilardini fell back through the field, and then Juan Guerrero got himself a penalty for passing the pace car, because even though the pace car came in. I think Juan got a penalty for accelerating too early. So I don't know what to say. I'm just banging the table here because people are just... I'm sorry if I'm ranting again, but people are too stupid to follow pace car instructions. It can't be that difficult. Just read what's saying in your bloody chat box. Anyway, we're back on the green, and Martin Bayer is leading by 16 seconds. So he's getting points now. He's got a point for leading a lap now, but this has basically completely ruined the race for everyone who suffered by the stupid mistake by the 2 drivers that I mentioned.
There's still 100 laps to go of this race though, and if we've had 5 cautions in the first 100, anything can happen in the rest. Just a quick question for management here, if the previous caution messed about so much, what would be the chances of the lapped cars being able to unlap themselves and running that as a sort of compromise due to the mistake of the previous safety car?
Well, because everything is controlled by the game, I don't really think I can override much.
Okay.
So that's the problem. Of course, the next car, there's 3 cars on the lead lap now, Bayer, myself, and Guerrero. The next car on track is Poski-Parta, and he's 2 laps down. So that's... I told everyone to hold position as soon as I noticed that the green flag wasn't going to be dropped. I told everyone, hold position. Exactly nobody held position. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do there. So all we can do now is race on.
So the leader has just crossed onto lap 103, and we're currently watching the final car on the lead lap, which is Juan Guerrero, but he's 21 seconds off of the lead. Oh, so we've got a car into the wall at turn 4, and that's a front wheel gone as well. That seemed to have been, yeah, it was Dorga, who's actually running very well, but that's probably going to be another caution. He's only got 3 wheels on his wagon, and he's on the apron of turns 1 and 2, and he's going to try to bring the car back to pits. But there's going to be a lot of debris on track at turn 4. Whether a lot of it still is on the track or if it ventured off, I do not know. But we're currently watching cars about to go around turn 4. This is Laura Levitt, and your race leader, Bayer, is in front. There seems to be some front wing and maybe some side pod as well on the inside of turn 4. But yeah, not an ideal start there for Dorga. He just spun the wheels up on the final corner, and that sent him into the inside wall, completely tearing the left-hand side of his car off. But your race leader is Bayer, and he's 12 seconds ahead of Pascal Mikola. But at the end of the safety car, Pascal Mikola was about 18 seconds behind. So he's managed to pull back about 6 seconds so far, and we've still got 95 laps to go. There's still going to be more pit stops. There's a few cars. The 7th position car, that's Christian Dorga, pulls into the pits, and the 12th position car, as Simon Witt, also pulls into the pits. 2 retirements so far. That is Von 4. He just pulled over on the inside of the track down the back straight. And Bivona, I believe he had an incident early on from running in P3, and that was a shame for him as he had quite a early start of the race, managing to hang on to the leaders, only slightly dropping off, but doing enough to stick with them for the most part. So here's your race leader, Bayer. He's 12.5 seconds ahead of Pascal Mikola in the Team Penske car, running in second, the only Team Penske car left running in the race. Bivona was the other of the Penske cars running the G4 chassis, and Mikola's in the Dallara. All cars on the lead lap, I believe, have... no, they don't, because Bayer is in... he's in Honda-powered Dallara, and then the second and third place is Pascal Mikola and Juan Guerrero. They're in Toyota-powered cars, but Bayer carving his way through the back markers. That's a Boyski who has been actually really quite aware of his surroundings throughout the majority of the race. I believe he had an incident in qualifying that made him start from the back of the grid, but he's currently running in 11th, 9 laps down off the lead, but he's leading Simon Witt by 2 laps, so cannot complain too much there. Dorga's still in pit road. He's in 9th at the moment, and Korev will shortly gain the position if he doesn't get out of pits anytime soon. As Laura Levitt overtakes a Boyski going into turn 1. Coming around turn 2. Laura Levitt's had quite a quiet race in P5, but managed to keep the car consistent. She's only 3 laps down, which compared to the rest of the grid is not too bad at all. Pascal Mikola must have had a bit of a moment, as he's now 16 seconds down, and he did have to get down to about 11. Whether that was trying to get past Ghilardini or not, I'm not sure, but Ghilardini is 5 laps down on him, so something to bear in mind there. But now Juan Guerrero's right behind Pascal Mikola. I thought Mikola just overtook Ghilardini. Maybe some lag there, not 100% sure. But Juan Guerrero...
Yeah, my game is freezing my game froze like 3 times in the first 2 laps, so I need to deal with that.
But the car currently on fire is Juan Guerrero, not literally, fortunately, but he is setting personal best laps after personal best laps, chasing down Pascal Mikola for second place. They're both currently 16, 17 seconds behind the leader, who managed to make the most of a terrible situation regarding the safety car, and that's gained him a substantial lead over the rest of the pack. But I'm sure there will be more cautions. With 12 cars still left going, there's 12 opportunities there for an incident to happen and bunch that grid back up. But I'm sure Juan Guerrero probably won't be trying to fight too much. Hopefully they'll try and work together to try and catch up to buyers. Otherwise, I'm not 100% sure they'll do it if they keep fighting each other. But they're catching up to Simon Witt, who's currently the last car running. He heads high, going around turns 3 and 4, allowing for Mikola to head through, and Guerrero should be able to clear him, heading down into turn 1. Fingers crossed, maybe not. He's probably Simon Witt's going to run high, and that will allow Juan Guerrero, yes he does, to go down the inside, not losing too much time overall. But Pascal Mikola's worked the gap back on the current live timing I've got. It says he's only 13.1 off of Bayer. Bayer's last lap was a 27.4, and Guerrero was a 26.8, I believe. Or is that best laps? That's best laps. Is there a way I can filter by last lap? I'm not sure. Anyway, here we go. Look at that, proper live timing. The final lap from Juan Guerrero was a 27.7. It was a 26.6 from Pascal Mikola and a 28.0 from Martin Bayer in the lead. So there's definitely room to catch up. There's a 13-second gap at the moment on the live timing between second and first, but with 84 laps to go, there's definitely a chance for that lead to be conceived, let alone if there was a safety car, it would be done even quicker. So it depends really what kind of laps Martin Bayer can put out compared to Pascal Mikola and Juan Guerrero, but Pascal Mikola must be having some kind of freezing problems, because although he's setting quicker lap times than Bayer, he still seems to be dropping off a little bit. So whether that's an issue of live timing or something actually going on in the game, not sure. But Christian Dorger there, kind of blocking Pascal Mikola a little bit. The last lap from Bayer was a 28.0, and Pascal Mikola was a 27.4. So he's catching up at half a second a lap here. And if he's 13 seconds off, that's probably going to, well, it should be about 26 laps if he can hold that pace. So I'm sure by the end of this race, we will definitely have some kind of battle going on. But it really depends if there's another caution, as the majority of the drivers now are probably getting into their groove. So we see Dom Wings driving. Oh, Pascal Mikola not having much fun there trying to get past Dom Wings. I'm not sure if Dom knew what side Pascal was going to go, as it looked like he was going to go to the right, then last second cut to the left. But either way, Pascal Mikola's got the gap down to 10 seconds now on my live timing. Martin Bayer not having much fun with the laps. He's setting low 28s, and Pascal Mikola's here setting mid 27s, mid to low 27s. So he's currently running a tenth or two off of his fastest lap ever. Yeah. So we should see Pascal Mikola catch up to Martin Bayer at some point in the near future. But currently, the majority of the grid is pretty spaced out. We've got a battle between Dorger and Aboyski. They seem to be quite close on their lap. There's only about 0.2 of a lap between them, which is probably about 300 metres. If I work, or 300 yards, if that works out about right. How close they actually are, I'm not 100% sure. And the battle is for 10th place, so for the final point in the third round of the Indy 300, Pascal Mikola goes down the inside of Poski-Parta. Poski-Parta's running in P4 and he's 2 laps down. I believe there was a slight incident on the final safety car restart, which sent Poski-Parta into the back of someone and he lost his front wing. But we're currently on lap 122 of 200. But Pascal Mikola is setting lap after lap. If stuff like that doesn't happen, he's had a game freeze, and that's allowed Juan Guerrero to get into P2. Through no fault of his own, Pascal Mikola's game is not being his friend right now. But Pascal Michelin is setting quick lap after quick lap, but now he's Juan Guerrero's ahead of him. Is he going to try and hold on and work with Guerrero to get ahead? You can see he's a little bit agitated. He ran wide there coming out of turn 4 right up to the wall. Is he just going to try and stick with Guerrero, work together, get the extra speed from the lap? Or is he going to work, or is he not going to work with Guerrero and just go all in for himself? There's one way to find out. Very, very close behind. It looks like he's going for it himself, doesn't it? He's down the inside of turns 3 and 4. Guerrero's very high and he's in the dirty air of Posky Party is ahead of him, and Posky Party is going to run out wide, and that's second place retaken for Pascal Michelin, who's once again setting quick laps. He just seems to be having game issues that's holding him around the 11-second mark. Pascal Michelin actually went with a purple middle sector on that last lap. It was a 27.5, even though he dropped all the way off at the start of the lap. But he's running very high there. Might have clipped the wall a little bit. Maybe that was just the stream. So we got Laura Levitt running quite high. I don't know if that was on my screen. It looked like a bit of a spin, but seemed to have held it all together. So all of the front runners getting slipstreams here. It would be great to see Pascal Michelin get that gap under 10 seconds as he's holding it. A little bit of a game lag though. You see, he just lost a second and a half there. Simple stuff like that really isn't helping him out. You know, he almost had the gap down to about 9.5 seconds coming out onto this lap, and it's already back down. Well, it was down to 11, but he's already gained back up. So it'd be interesting to see. Oh, good little manoeuvre there to get past the back markers quick, because he's got about half a second over Juan Guerrero in third. Guerrero's been held up a little bit by the back markers there of Laura Levitt, and that's allowed him to pull almost a second ahead of Guerrero's catching up now to Korolev in the blue number 2 car. That gap's still holding around the 10-second marks. It seems like Pascal Michelin's game is determined to not allow him to catch up. So we see Simon Witt heading to the pits, almost ran it up on the apron there. There seems to be a few cars in the pit lane. We're on pit exit. That's Simon Witt. He's in the pits. Maybe I was wrong. But I thought I saw some smoke of tyres locking up, just trying to get into their pit boxes as quick as possible. But maybe not. So, Pascal Michelin holding a very, very consistent time. He seems to be setting mid-27s on every lap he's doing. But so's Bayer. Bayer's now setting consistent times, but he's about half a second slower a lap. And Guerrero's a little bit in the high 27s, so he's slowly catching up to Bayer. But it's just not quite working, and Pascal Michelin's in a league of his own right. And you know, you can see how much he's pulled on Guerrero, but Laura Levitt comes into the pit lane. We are getting to that point now. I think the last set of pit stops was around lap
we have a yellow. We have a yellow.
Yellow flag's going to be for the 12th place position. That's Simon Witt on the outside of turn 1. Interesting. I believe he came into the pit, so maybe he spun it up on pit exit into the outside wall. Seems to be the case, doesn't it? What quite happened here? Oh, he touched the inside wall. Oh, wow. That's an odd mistake. That's an interesting one. I've never seen anything like that happen before. I'm not quite sure what happened there for Simon Witt. Maybe just a lapse of concentration, but that's his front wing gone. And that's his front wheel gone too. So we've got Laura Levitt coming out the pit lane too. Where she stands in regards to the pace car, I'm not sure. But Martin Bayer, is right behind the pace car. And that's allowed Matt Sibanoy and Juan Guerrero to catch right up, and that gap that he had is completely gone. I think there's a little bit of a disagreement between Laura Levitt and Martin Bayer as to who should actually be ahead, but it seems like Laura Levitt is the one for the position, but Martin Bayer's going in the pits and the safety car's only just come out. So I think he'll be getting a penalty for that, will he not?
Nope, the pits are open, and also Matthew Oboyski has the lucky dog. So he'll be able to lap the field to get back on the lead lap. So yeah, we're going green next time by, so the pits are open actually. we'll see how this goes.
So your current drivers in the pits are Bayer, Mikola, Guerrero, Wings, who's managed to get his car up into 5th place after an abysmal qualifying, so good race from him. Gilardini, Sibanoi and Korolev all in the pit lane at the moment, and that's just allowing Laura Levitt to make up a bit of time as she's running in 6th place and has now managed to get ahead of Wings, who is trapped in the pit lane as Laura Levitt comes flying around the outside of turn 2. He's going to slot in ahead of Juan Guerrero. We've got Dorga, Poskipata and Oboiski, who are all back markers, but Bayer lets Laura Levitt go through.
And the green is out. We're racing now.
So, good start from Bayer, manages to clear Laura Levitt and also Oboiski heading down into turn 1, but Pascal Mikkel is hot on the heels with Juan Guerrero taking 2nd position down the inside. So they all come flying down onto the back straight. Cars weaving all over the place. Be interesting to see how much of a move on Bayer gets. He's straight down the inside of Dorga. But Juan Guerrero's following suit. He's not a million miles behind. Also, we've got Matt Sibanoi into the wall coming out of turn 4, but he seems to have kept all of his wheels. I think it was just the front wing went, and we've got another yellow flag.
And with that being said, I don't think anyone's going to go to pits, so we're just going to have cars running around in circles at slow speed for a few laps. I think that calls for a quick break, does it not?
I'd agree.
Alright, we'll be back in just a few minutes after this, and a word from your local stations.
At Domino's, we make your pizza fresh when you order. And with the Domino's Heat Wave, we make sure it tastes like it's right from the oven. All you have to make is a phone call. Get 2 medium pizzas with up to 2 toppings and a 2-liter of Coke for just $13.99.
Can your fruit snack do this? It's the burstinest. It's the blastinest. Fruit snacks exploding with a mega burst of fruity juice. If your fruit snack can't do this, it's not a blast. Gushers Fruit Snacks, it'll blow you away.
Disney's a great place to visit, but if you can't make the long trip this year, drop in on some big thrills right now at Six Flags. It's bigger than Disneyland, with a special magic all its own, where everyone will find extraordinary fun. And superstars around every corner. And wherever you are this summer, there's a Six Flags theme park close by. Drop into Six Flags. So big, so fast, so close.
Welcome back to the 2022 Masters Trophy here at Japan at the Twin Ring Motegi. We are 137 laps into this 200 lap race. Your current leader is Bayer with Juan Guerrero right behind him and Pascal Mikkel. Just 1 car between them, a back marker of Laura Levitt, who's running in 5th 4 laps down. So we've just had a yellow flag from a spin at the pit lane from Simon Witt after contact with the inside wall. But they're all coming out of the last corner now. What can Bayer do and how quick can Pascal Mikkel get through the field to jump onto them? So it's green flag. Guerrero goes to the outside. Pascal Mikkel goes to the outside too. Laura Levitt to the inside, but Laura Levitt's down. Mikkel flies around the outside. Is he going to try cut it in? Yes, he is. He's cutting it in. Get in onto the inside of Bayer. Pick up the slipstream. So they go 3 wide down into turn 3. Bayer almost clips the rear of Mikkel, trying to come back up the track. It's not going to happen. Mikkel defending the inside. Guerrero on the outside. Can Bayer stick with them? They were over half a second a lap quicker than him in the previous stage before the safety car. But is this going to be another battle of Mikkel versus Guerrero? But with them battling, oh, big slide from Guerrero coming around turn 1. But he manages to keep it all together and get right on the rear end of Mikkel heading down to turn 3. He's going to flick the car to the inside. And dive down on the brakes, through the gears. laps. We see the camera sweep round. Pascal Mikola on board now, heading down into turn 1. Full speed ahead as Pascal Mikola looks to the outside. He's going to try cut the car into the corner. Bayer's not going to be close enough. He's 2 tenths off the back of Mikola, but he's sticking with him. Heading towards turn 3. A new personal best from Ghilardini, obviously benefiting from the slipstream of following other people around. But it seems like Guerrero and Mikola are really going to check out just a few laps after the safety car ends. We've got Laura Levitt there. And it seems like Ghilardini, they aren't fighting for position, but they are definitely fighting on track. Another personal best from Ghilardini, really benefiting from following somebody around. But here comes Pascal Mikola, all over the back of Juan Guerrero. He's looking to the outside. He's not going to be able to do it there, but he is maybe going to be able to do it on corner exit. He just can't quite get the car tucked in though. He's definitely slingshotted it out the corner. But looking out at many different camera views here. Into turn 1, Guerrero's tight on the inside. Mikola just needs that little bit more turning. Ghilardini sets a new personal best once again. He seems to be on fire at the moment. He's in 7th place, 6 laps down. Don Wings and Laura Levitt on the same lap. They seem to be fighting too. But here's the main battle. Pascal Mikola versus Juan Guerrero out of the last corner. Not much he can do here. He's going to sit in the slipstream. But I really think he's a little bit too far back at the moment. Sparks once again flying off the cars. Heading round turn 2. It's a good exit from Pascal Mikola. Very good. He's only 0.2 behind. He's going to be able to be close enough to make a move here. It depends if he goes to the inside. He almost tucks it on the apron. Guerrero runs it really deep, trying to defend the position. Not sure Guerrero was expecting that. And we've got a caution as Matsu Benoit spins out of the last corner. Let's hope everyone can avoid him. And he holds his position. Another caution. We barely made it about 6 laps that time, I believe. Wow. Matsu Benoit just seems to have caught the car stuck on the apron trying to go into the pit lane, and to avoid the pit wall just spun it when the car hit the ground coming up. And it only just happened in front of Guerrero and Mikola as well. Now, are we going to see any cars picked? The last safety car wasn't long ago. Do we know who the lucky dog was this time around?
Yes, indeed we do. It is Simone Ghilardini. Oh, it looks like Petteri Poskipata doesn't have any front or rear wing. That's going to do good for his straight line speed, but unfortunately this track does have corners. The pits are open, so he can't indeed pit. What happened with him there?
Orev just ran straight into the back of him, under the safety car.
Ah, that's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Anyway, as far as pit stops go, we may see the final pit stops for tires now. Fuel obviously is gonna last. If we go caution free from now on, which I don't believe we will, but you know, it may happen. We may see some green flag pit stops for a final set of tires for the last 10 or 15 laps for a final sprint. I think anyone who pitted at the last caution put up enough fuel to last the final 55 laps of this race. Which brings me to my next point. We're on lap 146 of 200.
Poskipata really needs to go into the pit lane here. Obviously that car is not going to be anywhere near on pace, whether he does or whether he doesn't. Different story. Oh, almost contact with Ghilardini. Poskipata trying to get in the pit lane, and Ghilardini just flying up the inside of him. Not quite sure.
I don't get why, even if you get the lucky dog, there's no reason to go at full racing speed during yellow. Yes, you can just go 200 kilometers an hour and you're going to be fast enough to catch up with the field in no time, because we're only going 120 kilometers an hour. Now, that being said, Ghilardini in the pits, Poskipata in the pits. The safety car will go into the pits at the end of this lap, and then we'll have 53 laps to go when we cross the line. And there's now 10 cars still running. Matt Cibagnoni has actually also been he has retired from the race, so he's out of it. That makes 4 DNFs and 7 non-starters for this race. 10 people still running. All right. We're going to green. I just got word from my crew chief, from my from the guys in the pits. The pace car's going in, and back to the box.
So 3 of them 10 cars still running on the lead lap, and that's the 3 cars that are at the front of the grid. No back markers this time around to do any messing. It's just going to be pure racing from the green flag. We've got a car brush the wall already in the background as we head to the fan stand here. Watching all cars power around the first 2 corners. Guerrero in the lead, Mikola in second, and Bayer in third. The 2 on the lead pack, or the lead pace I should say, really have been Guerrero and Mikola. Bayer's just been there through luck of the draw, but he's definitely pulled his own and done enough to keep that third position for sure, as he's another 3 laps ahead of Poskipata, who's in 4th, who still manages to hold on to that 4th place, even after being taken out by Korev into the safety car. But here comes Mikola. He's been the fastest car on track all day, really, in the race, apart from qualifying, where Guerrero just nipped him by less than a tenth of a second. He's going to try go around the outside of turn 4. It's not going to work. They're coming up on Poskipata now, who's 3 laps down, about to be 4. And he's probably going to go high and allow these 2 leaders to go through. Poskipata's got his front and rear wings back, always handy on the track with corners. But Mikola, once again, is going to be all over the back of Guerrero. And it's going to be a case of, do I just sit behind him for a little bit and figure out where I stand with my fuel and my tyres, or is Mikola just going to completely go for it and try and absolutely annihilate the remaining half of this race as we head into the final quarter now? Lap 150 of 200. It's been a very eventful race so far, and the main focus has really been Guerrero versus Mikola tonight here at the Twin Ring Motegi. Mikola all over Guerrero, heading down into turn 3. Mikola's trying for the outside, but he's going to run too wide. Guerrero's much sooner on the power, and he's going to line the car up great for an exit. But Mikola has got that slipstream heading down into turn 1. Going to try run it a little bit high, tuck the car in, get that little bit more momentum. See that he's reeling him in. Just trying to keep half of the car in the dirty air and half of it in the clean. Just try and get that little bit of extra downforce. Surely not for the inside. He breaks late. Guerrero leaves him the space, but forces him out wide. A very aggressive move there from Mikola with 48 laps to go. Is he clear of Guerrero? I think he is. He cuts all the way to the right-hand side of the track as we head round turn 1. Guerrero's looking for the inside, keeping his nose in the clean air. Mikola cuts back across to get the better exit. Guerrero rides all the way up the track and he's back in the slipstream. Is he going to be able to make a same manoeuvre back down into turn 3, or is he too far back? Guerrero goes for it. He's half a car length alongside Mikola. Mikola runs it around the outside. He's going to carry more speed off the corner. Is it going to be enough to be ahead going into turn 1? Guerrero's in the floor. He's back on track as Guerrero takes the lead going round turns 1 and 2. What a race it is from these two, swapping positions every single lap. Mikola back round the outside. They almost bang wheels. Heading down into turn 3. Guerrero gets the inside line. Mikola's once again going to do his party trick. Cut the car back to the inside. Slingshot it off the corner. Here comes Mikola once again. He's going to have to go to the outside. Guerrero goes extra defensive, blocking his line down into turn 1. Round turn 2. Here comes Mikola once again doing his party trick. He's going to switch the car back down to the inside of the track. Here he goes down into turn 3. What a race this is. There's still 45 laps to go. Guerrero manages to hold it around the outside. Are all 45 laps going to be like this? I sure hope so. Anyway, Guerrero finally manages to hold on to that position, but I think it's only going to be a matter of time for Mikola's back right behind him. Or back alongside him, I should say. It's Mikola. He manages to hook his car in every time. He's looking to go to the inside. Guerrero's not going to let 2 wheels down below the white line. He's right on the inside. Oh, he almost catches the rear end of Guerrero there. Surprised there was no contact. Wow, what a race this is becoming. Heading once again down to turn 1. Here we go again. Guerrero's got a little bit more of a gap this time. That was really, really close back in turn 3. Are they going to do it again? Is Guerrero going to let him have the inside? No, he's not. He's right over the track. Mikola's got to go to the outside. He can just carry so much more corner speed out of turn 2. And especially turn 4. Look, he runs it up high. Then he cuts it back in. Here he is. He's got a lower line. He's going to slingshot it out the corner. Guerrero's going defensive. Mikola's going to put his car on the inside. Guerrero opens his line back up. He's going to let the front wing... Oh, no, he's not. He's going to try run it around the outside. Fair play on Guerrero. That's not a move I expected. Here he goes. Is he going to pull Mikola's trick down into turn 3? Dive it down the inside? No, he's not. He's going to think better of it. Stick behind, but here he goes. Out wide. He just can't get the car turned in as well as Mikola can. Especially in the slipstream, he can do it when he's got nobody in front of him. But when he's behind Mikola, he's got all that dirty air to contend with, and his car just doesn't have the turn in that he needs it to have on corner exit. You can see he's just riding up slightly high, but he's carried the extra speed mid-corner this time round. He's dropped back a little bit just to get out that dirty air, and I reckon he's going to try reconsider for a little bit, but he's managed to keep the inside. Look at that. What a move from Guerrero. Right up on the back now of Mikola. He dived all the way down to the white line to get out the dirty air of Mikola, and Mikola's going to give him a lot of space on the initial turning, but cut right in. He's done that so he can carry more speed out the corner. Guerrero doesn't wash up the track this time though. Maybe he's let out the throttle a little bit just to allow the slipstream of Mikola to pull him around the track down to turn 3 once again. Nothing Guerrero can do. Mikola parks it on the exit. Guerrero goes high, but I think he'll lose too much speed there. Almost in the wall from Guerrero. What a race this is becoming. The two leaders absolutely battling it out with 40 laps to go. Wow. What a race. What a race. Here comes Guerrero though, turn 3. It seems to be one of his favoured spots. He's just not quite close enough to the back of Pascal Mikola. We are catching up to back markers though, so that could play a factor. We've got a Boyski ahead. He's generally been pretty aware of what's been going on, so I reckon he'll run it high, turn 3, and allow the two leaders to go through, if not earlier. But the dirty air from Boyski isn't going to be helping out Pascal Mikola. But Guerrero's going to stick behind a Boyski, get the slipstream off him. As a Boyski gets on the brakes early and allows the two leaders through, but Guerrero definitely benefited a little bit from that. And he's definitely going to benefit if Ghilardini's going to park his car there. Guerrero sticks his car in Ghilardini's slipstream, and that's going to allow him to gain even more time back on Mikola. But Mikola's really on a pace now, but even though he's been affected by them two drivers, he's still holding the gap. It depends how close Guerrero can get here, but he's going to have to start making some desperate moves. Pascal Mikola really has got the extra pace. It's a 10th here, a 10th there, but he closes the gap up mid-corner, but Mikola's got the drive out, and he's pulled it back to half a second heading down into turn 1. The last lap from Pascal Mikola was a 27.7, and the last one from Guerrero was a 27.8, so very close, but Mikola's just got that little bit of an edge. But with their battling, are they both burning through their tyres? Is Guerrero going to start thinking, maybe you should save his tyres a bit? Look how high Mikola's going. I don't know if he wanted to go quite that high though. Look how much time he lost. 0.2 of a second, all the gap is now on lap 164. I'll tell you what to say, this is absolutely amazing racing from these two. It's been firm but fair the whole way through. They've battled each other pretty much for the majority of this race. Both of them Toyota power. Guerrero on the rear end now. He forces his way through, forcing Mikola up the track, but Mikola's going to get the better exit and maybe even a slight slipstream from Korolev, who's a little bit further up the track, but Guerrero goes to the inside. Matt Sibanoy, he's going to cut the car back in because it's just what he loves to do. Here he comes, back down into turn 3. Guerrero's got the slipstream from Korolev. Guerrero runs the car all the way almost down to the 8th, but Sibanoy's still there. He's not going to have enough though, or is he on corner exit? Guerrero took a lot of mid-corner speed there, but he's going to tie it in nicely to get around Korolev. Korolev. Oh, that was very close there from Guerrero. Good job, Korolev kept his foot in it. As these two are on an absolute another level tonight. Guerrero and Pascal Mikola, very, very good drivers today at the Indy 300 at Motegi. Ooh. How long is it going to be though before Pascal Mikola gets right on the back of Guerrero though? Look at him, he's tighter on the mid-corner exit. He can just do things with that car that Guerrero's struggling to at the moment, whether that's tyres, whether that's he's got a little bit more fuel than he'd like in the car, I'm not sure. But look at Mikola. He runs it high, he tucks it in, he picks up the slipstream on the last 3/4 of the corner. He's not affected by that dirty air too much. Guerrero parks the car in the middle of the track. He's going to have to let Mikola decide where he wants to go. A little bit of a lock-up from Guerrero heading into turn 3, but he's managed to just enough corner exit speed to hold him off for turn 1. Or has he? I reckon he has. He's going to make Mikola go around the outside, but Mikola's just going to do his favourite thing and cut the car in again on the corner exit. Here he comes. Here's the slipstream from Guerrero. Guerrero's got to run his car down to the apron. He doesn't do it quick enough. Mikola's on the inside, 2 wheels on the white line. Guerrero's got to try go around the outside. Look how deep he runs. Look how much confidence he's got in that car to hold it round the outside, but he's going to lose definitely on corner exit, but he's held on to that position for another lap. 31 laps to go here at the Twin Ring Motegi. Is Guerrero going to be able to hold on? That really is the question. Look how fast they're going. They are nearly half a second quicker than anybody else on track right now. This is absolutely insane. The fastest lap of the race was set by Pascal Mikola last time round as Guerrero holds the inside, but it's not quite enough. Pascal Mikola takes the lead of the race, but he's run quite wide. Is Guerrero going to be cheeky and try to stick his nose in there before he can let Pascal come down onto his favourite line? I don't know, but Guerrero's very close and he's going to be in the slipstream. Mikola knows better. He's going to run it all the way down to the apron and allow Guerrero to decide, but Guerrero's going to try run around the outside. It's what he loves to do, but I don't think he's holding it tight enough to what he needs to get ahead of Mikola, but they are now catching up to back markers. That's the 6th place and the 9th place cars, so that's Dom Wings and Dorga they're catching up to. But Guerrero's really trying to get his nose in, because Mikola loves to run that high inside, a high line for turn 1 and then cut it in for turn 2. Guerrero's just trying to get his nose in to offset Mikola, because he knows that he's struggling to go around the outside of him here. Look how wide Guerrero's running, it's not doing him any favours. And Mikola's just pulled 3 tenths on him. If he held the line that Mikola did, maybe he would have been able to get his nose in here, but Mikola's changed his lineup now. So he's got Dorga ahead of him. He's running significantly slower. He manages to get ahead though, but surely he's lost speed. Here comes Guerrero. He's 0.4, 0.3, 0.2 heading down into turn 3. Look how close he is under brakes, but surely Mikola's going to get the better exit. Maybe not. Here comes Guerrero then, sat in the slipstream. They've both got Toyotas power units in the back of their cars. Mikola's ran high because he knows that's what Guerrero knows that's what he likes to do, and he sticks his car down the inside. But Mikola's going to run it down on the banking. Although it's only 10 degrees, it's really enough to gain those extra 2 or 3 kilometers an hour, which you really need. 0.1 of a second now between Guerrero and Mikola as the lead changes again with 26 laps to go. What's Mikola going to do? He's going to fight straight back into turn 1. I don't think Guerrero was expecting that. But Guerrero's going to try run around the outside. I'm not sure he's going to be able to hold it, although he will be slightly quicker off the corner. You know, Mikola's got the slipstream with Ghilardini in front, and they are heading down into a corner that Mikola loves to dive bomb in, but Guerrero also loves to go around the outside. What's going to happen here around Ghilardini? Are they going to split the back marker? Yes, they are. Heading out of turn 4, Guerrero just holds onto the lead. Mikola's not close enough to hold the inside line down into turn 1. Now he is quite close, but Guerrero ran up the track slightly mid-corner, so Mikola wasn't affected by his dirty air that much, and that's going to allow Mikola 0.1 of a second. He's going to dive bomb it down into turn 3. No, he's not. Guerrero closes the door, holds the car in well, and does it really well. Really good driving from both of these two. 25 laps to go now. Lap 176 of 200. We see Laura Levitt there on the inside coming out of the pit lane. A new personal best as well from Martin Beyer. He's running in 3rd. A very solid race from him. Benefited drastically from a safety car incident early on, which really muddled up the pack. Oh, that looked quite sideways from Pascal Mikola. It might be alright though. But yeah, Byers ran quite a quiet race actually. He was in the lead all by himself, and another safety car happened, and he just couldn't quite stick with the leaders because Guerrero and Mikola are really on another level. But they're catching up to the 5th place car. That's Dom Wings, and shortly ahead of them is the 4th place car of Posky Parter, and they're on the same lap. So Dom Wings and Posky Parter are fighting for position, but there is a little bit of a gap between them. So that's definitely to bear in mind. But Pascal Mikola is the car on fire at the moment. It was a 27.7 from Juan Guerrero and a 27.5 from Pascal Mikola. That's only 2/10 off of the fastest lap that he's ever set round here. Don Wings goes down into the apron, so he's obviously going to the pits. As Pascal Mikola really on the limit at this point with Guerrero. They've been fighting each other so hard throughout this race. 21 laps to go now, 179 out of 200. Pascal Mikola holding the white line. He sees the back markers up ahead. He's going to run it up the track, hold the slipstream. Aboyski's in front. What's Aboyski going to do? Guerrero, Aboyski's going to back out of it when he knows that those two are alongside. Good driving from a back marker from him. There we go. Look at that, 347.8 from Pascal Mikola. Kilometers per hour, that's a new speed record in this race. Juan Guerrero still holds the track record at the moment at 26.8. He must have set that early on in the race. But Pascal Mikola setting a new highest top speed of 347.8 kilometers an hour in the slipstream of Juan Guerrero shows how quick these guys are running. It's absolutely mega, but Guerrero gets wide on turn exit, and that's going to allow Mikola to catch back up. And they're actually catching up to Dorga in the 9th place position. Surely he should be getting out of the way soon, but he's holding the inside line. That's affecting Guerrero. Mikola's going to be able to take a lot more corner exit speed here, and Dorga's not backing out of it either. He does by the time we get to turn 3, but I think that offset Guerrero and Mikola a little bit on the corner entry. Nothing too major though, and Mikola's now only 2/10 behind Juan Guerrero. Guerrero managed to set a 27.828 and Mikola was a 27.810, so very, very close laps last time round, but those two surely affected by the back marker of Dorga. But now they've actually got pretty clean air when they pass the 8th place car of Korolev, unless anyone comes out the pits at an inconvenient time. There's only 28 laps to go here, or 27 laps I should say, as we're now on lap 183. What an absolutely amazing race this has been. These two have battled from start to finish at various points in the race. It's always been a case of Guerrero and Mikola. Nobody else has been able to touch them, although there's been some great racing throughout the field. Mikola and Guerrero really take the cake today. Look at the speed Guerrero can take off the corner. 0.2 of a second behind. Is Mikola going to be thinking, oh, there's only 15 laps to go at this point? Should I be holding back a little bit and try get him in the last 5, or do I just want it now? He knows that Guerrero can take him back because they've been swapping positions for the last 50-odd laps. It's been absolutely amazing to watch. But what is going to be the strategy for Mikola here? Is it going to be stay behind him till the end when he needs to? Or is it just going to be try get the position now and pull a gap on Guerrero? Really not 100% sure what the thinking is here. But Guerrero's ran up slightly high. That's not what he wants to do. Mikola's going to close up once again. He's 0.2 if he's going to go for a move here. Surely heading down into turn 3. Guerrero runs a little bit wide. Look how much speed he can carry on the corner entry though. Guerrero really pushing the limits of his car here. They both run really wide. We never saw anybody really run that wide in qualifying, but they're all doing it in the race now, pushing so hard. Mikola's doing his trademark move, run it high, turn 1, drop low, turn 2. Here he comes, he's 0.2 once again behind on Guerrero. How's that gap going to drop? It's still 0.2. Guerrero's obviously got a lot of speed. Same engine in these cars, both the Toyotas and the Chip Ganassi car versus the Team Penske car. Coming out of turn 4, it's the same story. Guerrero and Mikola. Absolutely amazing racing. Coming out of turn 2, what's the score going to be? Guerrero goes defensive. Mikola's going to hold behind him. I think Mikola's holding behind at this point, but there's only, coming on to the next lap, there will be 12 to go. Very interesting to see what's going to happen here. Guerrero runs it up wide. Are his tyres slightly older? Not 100% sure. Juan Guerrero has made 4 pit stops. Pascal Mikola's only made 3. So you'd like to think that Guerrero's tyres are a little bit newer than Mikola's, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe it was more of a mid-stint thing that Mikola decided to change slightly different to Guerrero. But, oh, was that a little bit of smoke coming out the back of Guerrero's car? I'm not 100% sure. It might have been the bit rate on the screen. But here comes Mikola. Drop it low, turn 2, carry the momentum. He's not quite close enough, though, I don't think. That gap seems to be sitting at about 0.2 every single time Mikola gets off of turn 2. Turn around turn 4. It's the same old story in it as we cross the line for 10 to go. Lap 190 of 200. Mikola all over the back of Guerrero. It's been these two all night. Brown turns 3 and 4. Apologies, some technical difficulties on my end, but here we go. Pascal Mikola is right on the rear end of Juan Guerrero. He's going to try and go around the outside, but not going to be able to do it. It's getting to the point of desperation now as we cross the line with 8 laps to go. 192 of 200. Not long left in this race. It's going to be a case of all-out manoeuvres here. Pascal Mikola does his trademark thing. Run the car up high turn 1, drop it down turn 2. Get that little bit of extra speed and avoid the dirty air of Guerrero in front. They are catching up to back markers though. They've got the 8th place car of Korolev in front. Then in front of that, the 6th place car of Don Wings. Then the 7th place car of Ghilardini. And then the 4th place car of Poskipata. All of them in front. They're probably going to struggle to get past. Guerrero is going to be held up here by Korolev. Going to be trapped in that dirty air, and the gap's only 0.2 now. But he is going to have the slipstream heading down into turn 3. Korolev's going to run it high. Mikola's going to close up in the braking, and look how close they are around turn 4. It's nose to tail racing with 6 laps to go. Mikola's going to try go around the outside of turn 1. What's Guerrero going to do? Surely he's got to hold the inside line but not run it up too high. He knows what he's got to do. He's going to lose out slightly, a little bit of a slide on the exit of turn 2, and that's going to allow Mikola to be on the outside of turn 3. But how deep can Guerrero run it into turn 3? Guerrero's been great all day at running it deep in the corner. We don't see this kind of move from Mikola often, running it round the outside. That's a Guerrero move, that's not a Mikola move. As we head into turn 1, what a race this is. 5 laps to go. Juan Guerrero, Pascal Mikola, is it all going to end in tears? Guerrero drops it slightly down onto the apron but holds it all together. Look how close they are, 0.1 of a second with less than 2.5 minutes to go here at Twin Ring Motegi. Guerrero all over the back of Pascal Mikola. We've got a batch of back markers up ahead. Are we going to catch them? Lap 196 of 200 now. Juan Guerrero once again still right at the rear end. Some great camera work here as we get on board with Juan Guerrero. 0.2 of a second. That's what Mikola could pull every single lap on Guerrero, but there's nothing Mikola could do. Guerrero's going to try go to the outside. Mikola's going to hug that inside line, which is what he needs to do. He runs up the track a little bit, but they're now catching up to the pack of Poskipata as well as Ghilardini and some other place cars. Pascal Mikola a little bit slow mid-corner, but there's nothing that Guerrero could do about it, otherwise he would have ran into the back of him. Poskipata is surely going to have to go high here to not infringe the 2 leaders. Here comes Guerrero, he's looking for the outside. Nothing he can do though. Look at the drive out the corner Mikola can get on that lower line. Surely his tyres must be in better condition than Guerrero's. We've got Dorger in front as well. It's turning into an absolutely insane race. We're on lap 198 of 200. We've got Ghilardini shortly up the road from Pascal Mikola. How well is he going to get out of the way? He's not on our screens currently. He's gone high. Good to get out of the way as we've got 2 laps to go now. Lap 199 of 200.
And we're on the final lap. Final lap.
Oh, final lap. Okay. Final lap, so it's Juan Guerrero, 0.4 of a second behind Mikola. He's going to have to pull some really insane stuff, but I think his tyres are just gone. He's washing high. Pascal Mikola's half a second up the road. I don't think there's any way Guerrero's going to be able to win this race now. Look how hard he's pushed into turn 3. He got the gap down to 0.3 for a millisecond, but look, the car's just washing up the track. He's hit the wall, and Pascal Mikola is going to take victory here at the Indy 300. He's going to take 175 points home for the Masters Trophy, as well as the extra 5. And depending on how many laps led, maybe even another 5 too. So it could be 185 points. Here we see Dom Wings and Mataboyski. Well done to Pascal Mikola. Well done Juan Guerrero. And also Bayer bringing the car home in a very, very quiet 3rd position. Notable drive should be given to Poscapata, as he managed to get his car home in 4th after being rear-ended by Korolev under the safety car and losing all of his aero. How his car didn't retire from that, I'm not 100% sure. But wow, what an absolutely amazing end to a great race. As we see all cars return to pit now. Wow. Absolutely amazing here at the Indy 300 win, mate.
Oops. Oh my god. What a race. Let's see, maybe we can get someone... Maybe we can get Juan Guerrero into the commentary booth. That would be nice to hear him talk about his experience from this race. Oh my god, I'm ecstatic. Jake.
Yo.
Oh my god. I don't know what to say. Oh my goodness. You want to know the best part about all of this stuff?
Go on.
I had 0.5 liters of fuel left at the end of the final lap. I was short on fuel by about a lap and a half at the end. I would have had to do a little splash and dash, but I didn't want to. I really didn't want to. Oh my god. Oh my god, what a bad.
Well, I want to say thank you very much for letting me commentate tonight. It's been an amazing opportunity, so it's very much appreciated, but I've got other commitments I must attend to right now. So good luck with your interviews. It's been an amazing watch. It's had everything. It's had great racing. It's had drama, controversy, the absolute lot. So if you give me the opportunity, I'll definitely be back if my commentating standards were up to your scratch.
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll see you on Sunday, I think, or next week Sunday. I don't know.
I don't know. I might have to start charging. Anyway, thank you for the opportunity. I'll see you all soon. Take care, everybody, and well done for the amazing race. Congratulations, Pascal, for the win. Great race, Guerrero, for 2nd. Very well deserved 3rd for Bayer as well. Thank you for letting me host, and I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.
All right, and with that being said, thank you very much, Jake, and we'll see you soon. And we're joined by Juan Guerrero, buddy. Woo! What was that? How did that go? Come on, how you doing? 200. That was 200 laps.
I'm in pain. Like literally, as soon as we crossed the finish line, I got pins and needles in my hands. I've never gripped the steering wheel so hard.
Oh man, I don't know what I had. I don't know what I was doing actually at the end. I was short on fuel. I had to save fuel. I don't even know how I kept up with you there. Did you have enough fuel?
Yeah, I overfueled actually. I think I had like 10 extra laps. I couldn't be us.
I thought that as well. I thought I had enough fuel as well, and then I looked at my estimate and it just went down by about 2.5 laps every lap. I was like, oh Christ.
Yeah, I think I was running more downforce than you, because like I could get close, but I just couldn't get past. Meanwhile, you were able to keep up.
Oh,
Lap
that
after
was
lap.
very possible that you ran more downforce. But oh, I don't know what to say. That was, I didn't think we'd have that many cars running after 200 laps, but we did. So congratulations to everyone. Congratulations to you for second place. I need to check because it might very well be that you get the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps, but don't want to
It
jinx
might be
or.
because I had
Definitely.
to defend like mad because like I figured it out to like 50 to go. I figured right he's gonna get me if I don't defend.
Yeah,
So I had to
well.
fight the inside line every single time.
Oh, we need to hurry up a bit because we have a Formula One race going on at the moment, the Miami Grand Prix. But you know
that's
what would you rather watch, this Indy Car race or the Miami Grand Prix? Like, let's be honest.
We've literally
if it were 2021, it wouldn't, or if it were 2020, it wouldn't be much of a discussion. But it's 2022 with exciting new Formula One cars, so we gotta hurry up.
Yeah, but like that's solid. I swear that was like 200 laps. Like it's a shame that the game glitched out with like that one safety car and gave me a drive through. I'm actually surprised I stayed on the lead lap with you, but
I don't know what at some point I don't even know what happened. There was another caution where there was someone overtaking someone and someone else fell back. I got really mad about that, and because then you got the drive through, and I typed in chat to everyone to hold position because obviously the green flag never flew.
Yeah.
So we had one extra lap under caution with the pace car in the pits, and everyone still overtook me. And so, but I think it made for some more excitement because also we got Martin Bayer getting some lead laps under his belt. Anyway, well, that was a great race. I hope we see you. I hope we see you for the next race of the Triple Crown at Talladega, where we go for the 1970 Talladega 500. And other than that, on Thursday we have Formula Ford at Silverstone. So to everyone watching this stuff, hold on. Yes. Anyway. Yes, sorry, I just got a message. Yes, next on Thursday we have Formula Ford at Silverstone, so that's gonna be great. If you were there last year for the Formula Ford Festival, you may probably remember how that went. It should probably go better this time. Then the week after that, on Sunday, we have the second round of the 1977 Deutsche Rennsportmeisterschaft at the Nürburgring, the ADAC Goodyear 300. This race will be brought to you by ADAC, Goodyear, and the number 300. And then the week after that, we have the sixth race in our 1971 Trans Am Championship at Road America, the Road America 200. So the forum will be there for everyone, of course. The thread for the Nürburgring race should go up shortly. And also, don't forget to check out, well, yeah, that basically. Anyway, Juan, thank you very much for giving the short insight into your race. It was the most exciting race I've personally done in quite a long time. I don't know, probably for you as well. Who knows? I don't know.
Definitely.
Oh, I really need to cool. I need to really cool down. Anyway, yeah, but as I said already, Formula One is going to be on in. I think it is on already. So it is from Motegi in Japan. It is Pascal Mikola, Juan Guerrero, Evgeny Sidorenko, and Jake, whoever, whatever his last name is, I don't know, saying so long. See you next time.